split them in white plates and yellow plates just for the practice sessions, but they'll be mixed up depending on how they've qualified. But Joe Ackroyd in the first of the 600s was quickest at 102.890 miles per hour, ahead of Mike Norbury and Alan Brooks. They should be qualified for the A race. And in the A race, well, the yellow-plated Dean Harrison, 107.768 miles per hour. Second, Jamie Coward at 107.230 miles per hour. And third, Michael Dunlop at 107.129. There's 0.8 less than of a second between the top three in that 600 race. It should be a tremendous battle. 250s, 650s, Jamie Coward quickest there at 102.403 miles per hour. Rob Hodson, 101.936. And Dominic Herbertson at 100.841. And the sidecars, Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes, the reigning champions. They broke the 100-mile-an-hour barrier at 100.077 miles per hour. Then it was Peter Founds and Jevon Wormsley at 99.697. And Alan Founds and Jake Lowther at 98.868. Then it was John Holden and Lee Kane in fourth, also over 98. And Lee Crawford and Scott Hardy fifth, also over the 98. Let's just give you the grid then for this first race. And the first race is the Ellen Van Infuels Senior Race, 7 laps, so that's 29.75 miles. Pole position is number 1, the reigning solo champion Dean Harrison. In the middle of the front row will be number 3, Michael Dunlop. And then it's number 36, nearest to the race control, and that will be Jamie Coward. Second row is number 44, Rob Hodson. Then it's number 5, Michael Evans, and number 6, Sam West. And the third row, number 65, Michael Sweeney, went very well at the Skerries last weekend. Then number 10, Ryan Neen, and number 11, Mark Parrott. So we're all set to go. Give you the non-starters. This is in the programme. Do buy the programme and help support the club, put on future meetings. It's pages 30 and 31. Non-starters then are number 7, number 24, number 26, number 27, number 48, number 50, number 119, and number 128. Just give you those again quickly. 7, 24, 26, 27, 48, 50, 119, and 128. Number 118, that's Andy Saylor. Change of machine there. He's not on the BMW. He is on a 1000cc Kawasaki. Number 118, Andy Saylor, is on a Kawasaki, not a BMW. Well, let's bring the rest of the team in as we have our commentary team in place. Chris Kinley, of course, is down at the club headquarters, the clubhouse just down the road. But let's first of all just get some initial thoughts and conditions. Dry, that's the important thing. Dry, and there's not too much sun glare, so just about pretty perfect. Roy Moore, good evening.
Yes, and good evening to everybody listening by whatever device, not only around the Colas Ballown circuit, but certainly in my estimation, worldwide, as such are the powers of technology. It wasn't like that in 1955, I can assure you. But certainly we've managed to see every Southern 100 race, and you still get that apprehension even when you get in position and you know the boys are all gathering down there on the bypass, ready to go into the little holding area and then head towards us here at Cross Four Ways, which is an acute right-hander and certainly has been part and parcel of the history of the Southern course for the Southern 100 Club anyway, since they organised those first races back in 1955. It's a little bit apprehensive on the weather, I must admit. You'd thought during the day that you're going to get away with it, but it's not looking too bad down here. perfect, in fact, absolutely dry, bone dry roads, not unlike it was on Monday night for the first practice, but certainly down here at Cross Four Ways, dry on the approach. We first see the riders coming out of the Blount Dip, the bomb hole, and then we just catch a brief glimpse of them before they disappear out of our view, and then in past Maggie's Cottage, and then the little kinky left-hander which takes you into Cross Four Ways, where it's all action, certainly on the first lap. You just can't get into the swing of it, really. It's just bikes everywhere when they head towards us. But we'll do our best, and certainly starting off the meeting with the most powerful bikes out there, the big bikes in the Ellen Van Fuels Senior Race. So that's going to be looking forward to, I'm sure, in the space of the thing off the race. There will be lots of black marks suddenly appearing on the approach here to Cross Four Ways. It's a good one to sort them out, and then they go off there from here down into the Church Bends, and I would imagine by the number of cars which are on the way up to the Blount Quarry there that a lot of people have parked up here before the roads have closed and either walked down to the Blount Dip or made their way to Church Bends, because that is the vantage point. It was interesting to note that somebody who'd come over, I think possibly for the first time, had gone round the Colas Blount circuit and said, "Where on earth do you watch from?" But those who are in the know where to get to, and there's none better really, I would think, than at the end of the bypass there, the first right-hander into Ballachagan, as we estimate 31 high-powered machines will be heading towards that first corner. And what a delightful entry as well. Delighted to see Michael Dunlop back, and certainly it will be interesting to see how it goes. In TT week, we made a bit of a kind of a thing that we'd added up all the amounts of races that have been held round the TT Mountain course. It came to something like, I don't know, it was well over 1,000, but we've done the same for the Southern 100. And in my estimation, it's purely not, there's no kind of firm and fast records, but it's everybody who's listed as a winner. And that means that people who are riding in the 250 class, certainly on 400s and stuff like that, they're all listed in the program going back the records. And I think there's something like 1,204 listed winners. And that is not only just round down here, but it was the TT was held down here, would you believe? They had the 125 and 250 classes off the TT running round Blount. It only lasted a couple of years, and it was fellow commentator from TT Week, Chris Palmer and Ian Locker, who dominated those particular ones. So coupling up with the figures we had for the TT, including the St John's, the Clips course, the Mountain course, my unofficial figure is, combining the two together, 2,327 listed winners. That doesn't include the Derby West Road circuit, or a circuit that they had in the centre of Ramsey, which would be classed as a road circuit, and it doesn't include George Formby and No Limit either. But whether those are right or wrong, it remains to be seen. But somebody else could take up the challenge, and maybe we could get together and put an exact number on it. But those are just my estimations. But there's a bit more action back at the bypass than there is at Cross Four Ways. So back to Tim Glover on the bypass.
Thanks very much indeed, Roy, and yeah, plenty of work going on in counting up the number of races at the TT and at the Southern. Well, let's go and see what's happening further down the Castletown bypass. And Chris Kinley, there's always that anticipation, isn't there, before the big bikes go out at the Blount, on the Colas Blount course.
Yeah, good evening, Tim. Good evening to you and Roy as well, and everybody else, like Roy said, listening wherever they may be. Yes, we are down here in the little holding area before we go out racing. Stood next to number 30, Richard Charlton, on his BMW to Northeastern, and number 31, that's Brad Vickers. Unfortunately, Brad's suffering a little bit, unfortunately, due to all I can say is being beasted on the mountain bikes by myself and Robbie Sylvester this afternoon. He said his legs are killing him. Well, that'll teach him. I said, if you want to go out some cycling with the big dogs, you've got to try and keep up. Right next to number 2, Dom Herbertson, and so we're with Dominic. All okay, Dom?
Oh, aye, but I pretty much had dug this course all the way back here, but I'm looking forward to it, mate, Chris.
What about the bikes? Good, happy?
Yeah, over the moon. Obviously a couple of setups, you know, that old excuse out the book, but no, great circuit. Can't wait to get going. Hopefully the weather stays off for everyone.
Thanks, Dom. Cheers. Dominic Herbertson then off at number 2. Dom Bomb on the excuse me, on the Well, the Davies Motorsport bikes, they do look nice. His ZX10 that he's on this year, and he's gone pretty well. I was stood and watched with the, how shall I say, the Stephen Matty Ramsden Sidecar, unofficial Sidecar crew last night at Castletown Corner, and watching into there for the session last night. It's very entertaining. Not watched there for many, many years as a number 3 machine of Michael Dunlop slots into position. Ryan Dean just takes the little cover off the fly screen, what do you want to call it, what do you want to call the rip off there, the tear off, whatever you want to call it, on Michael Sweeney's RI helmet, and the gate will be open very, very shortly. And just coming up to, what are we on, 18-16, the machines will be led out of our way, so stand by if you're around the 4 1/4 mile at Colas Blount Circuit. Jonathan Perry on the Gordon Uxley ZX10 gets ready to go, and he was a good run around here as well. Derek Uxley wasn't it? Good luck to Brad Allen. Connor can see there, Dean Osborne, local lads, Paul Cranston, the Evergreen, I think that's right to call him the Evergreen, Paul Cranston, done many, many, many races around here, and I think, from memory, Roy Moore, he won a race around here in the very, very early 80s, didn't he, Paul Cranston, a long, long time ago. They're on the way, they're on Ballackagan, on the back straight, they're down towards Iron Gate, and we'll hand back to you across 4 ways, Roy Moore.
Yes, it does become a bit familiar, and in fact it's a very interesting exercise when you go back, especially if you're 72 years of age, when you can think back to all the ones that you've forgotten about. I don't mean that disrespectfully, but certainly some of the names that crop up, you say, oh yeah, he did win, and it's a good thing to do. But that's totally out of interest now. I don't know how long we've been doing this particular down here at Ballown, but I remember that Ali Foster and Henry Qualtrough had black hair when we first started, but certainly the boys will be through that Ballackagan, that right-hander there. Interesting grandstand on there. I think they get some good views on that on the first lap. In fact, the way that the field goes, I don't think there's going to be anybody break away on this one. They go down then to the sweeping right-left of Iron Gate, up over the railway bridge, heading towards Ballinorris, and then the famous Joey's Gate, when I think something broke, the steering damper broke on Joey's bike one year, and he headed through that gate. Fortunately, it was open, and it's left open all the time now. Past Joey's Gate, some fantastic photographs of wheelies going past there, and then they turn it into the right-hander at Ballabeg hairpin. They're on the control of the marshal, but they're well past Ballabeg because they're streaming towards us here now at Cross 4 Ways, led by the travelling marshal. Could be Tony Duncan, not quite sure. If it's number 2, it will be. It's number 1, it is. So there's 45.5. Michael Evans, Ryan Neen, Joey, Michael Dunlop, and 40 and 42. 2, Dominic Herbertson in there, 92, 46, 80, 73. It's all numbers. 1 or 2 giving us a nod as they go. Andy Saylor, he's one to watch around Cross 4 Ways. He's got a unique line. And then Birthday Boy, I think it was yesterday, for Dave Moffat, is safely through. I think Dave, will be just running in there. I don't think he's in this particular class as down on the entry list, but the Southern Club accommodate them. If you've had a bit of machine trouble, well, then you can go at the back of that just to check everything's all right. They go away from here across 4 Ways through Church Bends, the right, the left, and then the very, very fast dive through Great Meadow, then crest the rise, then in towards the left-hander at Stadium Corner, which will always have an awful lot of spectators there. And then after Stadium Corner, it's the short dive then into the final right-hander, where I will say to Tim Glover, Tim, they're on the bridge.
They are indeed, and they're cresting over the top of School Hill. The travelling marshal, number 2 travelling marshal, is Roy identified out there at Cross 4 Ways. He goes through and into his position just in the little lay-by. And there is Dean Harrison on pole position, coming into position. Jamie Coward also in position. And Michael Dunlop, well, he is further back. He does like to just sort of drop back a little bit, but he will go and slot into the middle there of that front row. We gave you the 3 rows. Let's go to row 4. Number 40, Rhys Hardesty's there. Number 17, Joe Ackroyd. And number 64, Stephen McKnight, as the officials now make their way past the grids, the paddle boards that are indicating which row of the grid are starting to be brought down, as everybody seems to now be in position. And we'll get the sign going up very shortly to engage gear. It'll flick round, and then we'll get the watch the lights, and the lights will go out and we'll be underway. The green flag is being waved, so we are ready. So engage gear. First race, it is the Ellen Van in Fuel Senior Race. The revs are up. We're underway now. great start. It looked like Jamie Coward, but let's go to Chris Kinley.
Yeah, could it be the Yamaha? Is it the Kawasaki? It's not. It's Dean Harrison. Rob Hodgson, he's in second place. So Dean Harrison from Rob Hodgson, who won this race last year. He's in second place, Tim.
Thank you very much indeed, Chris. Yes, fast and furious, as a previous commentator said here. The late and great Maurice Maudsley, remember him with great affection. So 7 laps ahead of us, and it's going to be, as he would say, fast and furious, 29.75 miles. And who's going to join the list of winners? Ian Locker currently is the top of the list there for the Southern 100 meeting with 32 wins. Joey Dunlop, 31. But then it's Michael Dunlop with 21 wins to his name already, and the current solo champion Dean Harrison has 18. And also on 18 is Kenny Harrison, no relation. Dave Leach with 17 wins, and then Ryan Farquhar with 16. This is going to be quick. It's going to be a great race. Let's head out to Cross Four Ways, and Roy Moore settle in there on that in the garden at the corner cottage.
We'll do our very, very best. If it's a light-coloured fairing that we see first, I probably assume that will be Dean Harrison on the Silicon Engineering machine, the defending Southern 100 champion. But there's no sign yet. Somebody's made a break for it, a big break for it as well. Is this Dean Harrison putting the hammer down? It certainly is. Number 1, Beck End Flicks. And it's number 44, Rob Hodgson, Michael Dunlop, Jamie Coward. And then number 6 is there, Sam West. And then number 5, Michael Evans. Number 40, Davey Morgan, 42, 30. 55 is Michael Russell, 31, 14, 46, 118. Andy Saylor, and the last to go through there was number 89. And they're all safely through, crossed 4 ways. But it was Dean Harrison with probably about 5 machine lengths here at cross 4 ways. Put the hammer down from the very start, was leading. Dean Harrison led there from, it was Rob Hodgson in second place. And in third, if number 44 in second, with Michael Dunlop in third. Tim, they're on the bridge.
They are indeed, just the one machine sighted, a couple more now, but it looks like there's a break, and it is indeed Dean Harrison. Through he goes. 2 minutes 23, and there's number 3, Michael Dunlop into second, 36, Jamie Cowards in third, and Rob Hodgson, number 44, is through. Just let you listen to these through. Sounds like a swarm of angry wasps going through here, but it is Dean Harrison that's made the break. That's the 29th machine just through, number 89, Sean Seddon. But it was Dean Harrison, and he had a pretty sizable lead of 3.891 seconds. I can tell you that number 5 is a retirement, perfectly okay. The Santon rider, Michael Evans. Number 5, a retirement on the Wilcott Consulting BMW. Michael Evans, a retirement. But it is Harrison, number 1, ahead of number 3, Dunlop. Nearly 4 seconds the advantage. Dunlop has a 1 second advantage over number 36, Jamie Coward, and he is just a whisker ahead of number 44, Rob Hodgson. Let's go out. Lap 2, cross 4 ways, Roy Moore.
Yeah, well, he took us by surprise, really, by the amount of gap he'd pulled from the start, too, on the first lap. But certainly Dean Harrison putting it down. He's left his mark on the road already. He was quick to point after a senior TT win, the Met-Sellers. I think he's increasing his lead. Here he is into cross 4 ways. Number 1, Dean Harrison. Very, very determined, but Michael Dunlop is a determined rider as well. And he's broken away from Jamie Coward in third and Rob Hodgson in fourth. And then it's Sam West, and then it's Ryan Neen. That's the order as they go through, and then number 65 is through there as well, Michael Sweeney. So Mark Parrott, distinctive, and there's David Morgan, number 71, and number 2, Dominic Herbertson. Front end chattering on that at cross 4 ways as 31 is here with us, Brad Vickers, 112, 80, 46, 118, 39, and 4. Sorry, it's only numbers, the last being Lee Hembry, but Dean Harrison increasing his lead here across 4 ways, but now Michael Dunlop clear, but they'll be on the bridge. Tim?
Yeah, just the one machine sighted so far, and he comes over the crest of the hill. It is Dean Harrison, the solo champion, and he's almost the whole length of the straighter away. 113, there's Dunlop. And in third, there's 36, Jamie Coward. There's number 44, Rob Hodgson. 6 and 10 together, that's Sam West and Ryan Neen. And that's 65, Michael Sweeney. 17, Joe Ackroyd, he's in 8th place. 9th is number 11, Mark Parrott. 10th, number 40, Reece Hardesty. And then a gaggle of bikes go through. Number 55, just having a look down on the left-hand side there. In 17th place, Michael Russell. But it's Dean Harrison. He's 5.6 seconds up now. And 113 miles per hour on his second lap. So a tremendous performance by him. As number 93 goes through. Number 93 there being Paul Cranston, safely through. 5.6 seconds the advantage, and Dunlop in turn is 2.2 seconds ahead of number 36, Jamie Coward. 113.036 miles per hour on lap 2 for Dean Harrison. That's a tremendous marker from him. Let's go out to cross four ways. Roy.
I wonder what my Uncle Jack would think of lapping the Ballown course at 113 miles per hour. I know it's not the lap record, but there's Dean Harrison now through. Has Michael Dunlop made any inroads to him? I don't think so. He's getting ready to break into cross four ways. There's Dean Harrison, but Michael Dunlop has pulled a big advantage over those. He's got a bit of a gap to do there. There's Michael through, safely number 3. And then it is number 36, Jamie Coward. And then 44, Rob Hodgson. And then number 6, Sam West. And number 10, Ryan Neen. They had that battle, Rob Hodgson and Neen, at the Prost TT. And then it's number 65, Michael Sweeney. They're safely through. And then number 11, Mark Parrott, in between them. We're not quite sure, but number 40 is here with us now, and that's Reece Hardesty. And then a scotch, as they say. And the last of those is number 30, and then 55, Michael Russell. And then number 31, but the group of them there together, Brad Vickers, but they'll be on the bridge, Tim.
Yeah, again, just the one machine sighted, and it is that very distinctive Silicon Engineering Kawasaki of Dean Harrison. 113.766 miles per hour from Dean. There's Michael Dunlop at 112.541 miles per hour. That's his quickest of the race. And there's 36, Jamie Coward. And not as quick as he was on lap 2. His best at 110.090. 44, 6 and 10 through in 4th, 5th and 6th. That's Hodgson, West and Neen. There's Sweeney and Ackroyd. 65 and 17 in 7th and 8th. 9th is number 11, Mark Parrott. And in 10th is number 40, Reece Hardesty. As another 5 machines go hurtling down the Castletown bypass. 55 just indicating, I think, that he's pulling in there. Michael Russell, can tell you 89, Sean Seddon, a retirement rider, perfectly okay. More action here. It's another 4 or 5 bikes all together through, but it is Harrison at 113.766 miles per hour who's put the hammer down in this race, and he is 7.1 seconds ahead of number 3, Michael Dunlop. Let's go to Roy at cross four ways.
Yes, Silicon Engineering, the sponsors also of local rider David Knight in the World Enduro, who's just taken a world title. Not the first time, but certainly Silicon Engineering well. And Dean Harrison is out of the Ballown dip. He's passing Maggie's Cottage now. He's on the brakes. The back end goes light. He's much more steady this time. He'll probably be well indicated. The full length from cross four ways as Michael Dunlop is just appearing now that he is put between them. But certainly there is Michael Dunlop safely through into second. And then third, it's number 36, Jamie Coward. And then in 4th place, number 44, Rob Hodgson. And then it was, as it was previously, Sam West, number 6 and 10, Ryan Neen, safely through, but holding on to a commanding lead, as just the same as Michael Dunlop has over third. 2 more machines, and there's Mark Parrott. So it'll indicate, as Mark goes through, that certainly the boys are on the move, as number 40 is here with us now. Number 40, Reece Hardesty, but they'll be on the bridge, Tim.
Lap record for this race, 114.173. I would suggest it's in danger. Here's Harrison. Not on this lap, though, but he is comfortably through. And here comes Michael Dunlop over the hill now. And the gap goes out by another second, 8.1 seconds, the advantage. 36, Coward is through. That's his quickest lap at 110.824. There's Hodgson, here's West. And Ryan Neen there in 4th, 5th and 6th, number 44, 6 and 10. 65, Michael Sweeney, and 17, Joe Ackroyd through. And there is number 11, Mark Parrott. He is in 9th position. but he's some 36.3 seconds away from the leader, Harrison. Reese Hardesty and Dominic Herbertson in 10th and 11th. 3 together across the line there. That was McKnight, Morgan and Charlton, but it's Harrison who leads, quickest on lap 3 at 113.766 miles per hour. Is he just managing that lead, knowing that he's got such a big lead? I'm sure he's had a little look behind him, and he won't have seen another bike in sight. Let's go to Roy at Cross Four Ways.
Yeah, with his consistent lap times, 112, 113, will the race record be in danger? That's held by Michael Dunlop at 112.925. But it looks as though Dean Harrison is with us here again into Cross Four Ways, extending that lead. No sign of Michael Dunlop. He just crests the rise coming out of the Ballown Dip now. So that is probably an increase in lead. This could be a quick lap, but there is Michael now. Michael Dunlop, number 3. And he has got the full length between here and the crest of the rise coming out of Ballown Dip, between the third place man, who is Jamie Coward. He's third, and he's got a substantial advantage over in fourth still. Number 44, very appropriately enough, it is Hodgson, and then number 6, Sam West and Ryan Neen. That could go down to the very end though as well, but still Dean Harrison well ahead here, as he has been in every previous lap at Cross Four Ways. 65 and 17 and 11. Mark Parrott indicates they're on the bridge.
They are, and it looked like the distinctive blue of Harrison. It is indeed. And 114.019, that's just outside the Ellen Van Fuels senior race record. Dunlop crossed the line now, and Dunlop quickest at 112.568, but it's nearly 10 seconds now, 9.927 seconds. As Jamie Coward comes into view. Jamie Coward there on the Prez Racing Yamaha, and he is, 11 seconds down on Dunlop. 44, 10 and 6 are through in 4th, 5th and 6th. That's Rob Hodgson, Ryan Neen and Sam West. 2 more bikes into view. 65 and 17. 65, Michael Sweeney. And number 17, Joe Ackroyd. That was number 11, Mark Parrott. But 114.019 miles per hour on lap 5 for Dean Harrison. Quickest of the race so far. 109.3 quickest for Rob Hodgson, and 109.9 for Ryan Neen. And he, of course, has moved up into 5th. But it's Harrison by nearly 10 seconds from Dunlop. Let's go to Roy at Cross Four Ways.
Yeah, a total distance of 29.75 miles. It would get you probably somewhere up the mountain mile on one lap of the TT course. But Dean Harrison here with us again. Out of the Ballown Dip he comes, past Maggie's Cottage, and much, much steadier. He probably very much aware that he's well ahead in this one. So Dean Harrison safely through, and Michael Dunlop, yes, it probably will be about those 7 or 8 seconds. And he has got a probably more of a commanding lead from the third place man, but Michael is through. Dean Harrison probably just taking it out of Church Bends and onto the flat bit down through Great Meadow as Jamie Coward comes into Cross Four Ways. What's the attraction of the Southern 100, they say? Well, the dicing down the field has been spectacular here at Cross Four Ways. 6 and 7 together coming in. There's Hodgson and there's Dean and there's Sam West. So no change in those positions there, but that could go down to the wire. But Dean Harrison still well ahead as number 12 comes at number 17 comes into Cross Four Ways. Joe Ackroyd, they're on the bridge.
And over the School Hill Rise and onto his last lap is Dean Harrison. No quicker than on lap 5, the previous lap, 114.019. Now Michael Dunlop comes into view, so it's an increasing advantage. And Michael Dunlop now 11 seconds down on Dean Harrison. He's home and hosed if he can get round on this last lap. 6 laps completed. As into view comes number 36, Jamie Coward, the yellow flag with the black diagonals across it, indicating the last lap here at the grandstand. Oh, close quarter racing there between 10. Ryan Neeney's up another place. And 44, Rob Hodgson just got ahead of him as they cross the line here. And number 6, Sam West, safely in 6th. But Ryan Neen has moved up from 6th into 5th at the end of the last lap. And now he's up into 4th position for the local man. Joe Ackroyd's safely through. He's moved up as well. He's into 7th, number 17. 65, Michael Sweeney in 8th. 11, Mark Parrott is in 9th. And Dominic Herbertson, number 2 in 10th. But it's Harrison, 11 seconds ahead. Let's go to Roy at Cross Four Ways.
Yes, certainly a bit quicker than the Plop racing down Derby on Sunday last, or Saturday last, was it? Certainly, but a good attraction down there. But Dean Harrison not as yet sighted, but he is now, and he's tucked in behind that bubble. He's at Maggie's cottage. He's now going into the left-hander, just gets up and down through the box. You can see his right hand there on the front brake, getting it anchored up. Probably Michael Dunlop a couple of seconds closer, I would suggest, just visually on the road. That remains to be seen, but Michael here with us now and drops it into cross four ways, as he has done many times in his career, but certainly no thing of getting anywhere near Dean Harrison, I would suggest. Third place man here is Jamie Coward. Jamie Coward, number 36, that familiar that. Now that battle between the others, we'll probably just have time to get that through, and it is, yes, it's Rob Hodson who's still holding on to Ryan Neen, but that's going to go down to, as we always say, the bridge. Over to you, Tim.
And perfect timing. Dean Harrison, I think it was, just across the bridge. Let's get the programmes in the air and give him a big applause here as he takes the first victory at the 2019 meeting. Stands up on the pegs as well. The 19th victory here at the Southern 100 meeting for Dean Harrison. Here's your man in second place, Michael Dunlop. Great to see Michael racing here. And no quicker laps by Harrison or Dunlop. I think they knew everything was done and dusted. We'll confirm number 36, Jamie Coward, as he just comes into view now, and confirm him in third. Let's go down to Chris Kinley.
Yeah, got off the bike looking pretty fresh as well. Just handed the bike to Johnny, the boys, and well, I'm pretty sure a return to Ballown and a winning return to Ballown. Dean, great to have you back, and well, how was that?
Yeah, faultless, to be honest. The bike, spot on. Couple of little throttle issues, not major. Metzler tyres working really well. So, and that were on a set of scrubs as well, to be honest.
Yeah, over 114.
Yeah, I felt really comfortable, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a lot more to come if needs be. It was good. It's good. It's nice to do a good race to get you in. I get nervous around here, to be honest. It's nice to get the first race out and settle myself down. So, and I feel the most comfortable on that bike, to be honest. A few little issues with 600. We'll see how that goes next. But no, over the moon.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. Yeah, I know the club are very conscious of the one to get on, and great to see Michael back here again. Great to see you at the Southern 100 again. Michael, good to be back. That was hard work.
It's just that thing there's like hanging around with your wife's boyfriend. Sometimes you just have to do it, you know what I mean? But just not doing what I wanted to do. It's just disappointing at the minute, you know what I mean? No matter what we seem to do, it doesn't seem to make a change. But look, we just batter away. We caught in the first lap badly there, so. And then Dean just buggered off, which we knew he doesn't need a breath.
Lap times are good. What about the wrist injury and all that? How's your arm? Is that all good after TT?
Aye, no, well, it's just, look, we just deal with what we got, so we'll be all right.
Good man, cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, Mike. Cheers. I know the club are wanting to get on, and Jamie Coward in third position. Jamie, and having a good early battle with Rob Hodson again.
Yeah, we got an half decent start and got away. Rob made an absolute stonker and got in front of me and Michael, and Michael got past Rob, and I wanted to get past him and try and look onto Michael if I could, but Michael and Dean, obviously, the pace is unreal, so I'm happy with third. You know, it's the R1's not many people using them, so to put it on the podium first time out on it here, I'm over the moon.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. There's the first three for the excuse me, Ellen Van Fuel's senior race, and I know, Tim, they are very conscious that they do want to get off and stuff, and Gareth Davis from EVF is the compliance manager there. He's going to be doing the presentation for us this evening. We do have the Foreign Juventus guys who do have the little setup behind the club headquarters here, if you want to pop and see the staff there with the eatery that they have too. This little beer tent to do their various wines, etc., that they do. And as you just heard there, the boys, like, still, Michael, with just a few problems there that I'm sure he's going to be trying to iron out as they go throughout the next couple of days. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the prize presentation for the Ellen Van Fuel's senior race. Dean Harrison just doing a quick interview for Greenlight Television, and he'll be heading up onto the podium now so we can get on. So, in third place, I think we're just gonna crack on. I think, are you ready, Phil Torban, the club president? What are you, president? He's president, whatever he is. President of the club. Phil's here. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Top three in the Ellen Van Fuels. In third place, number 36, Jamie Coward. Well done to Jamie. Gareth from EVF comes up, gives him the hat. In second place, number 3, Michael Dunlop. Good to see Michael back at the Colas Ballown circuit. And his 19th race win around this 4.25 mile track for number 1, Dean Harrison. So there you go, Tim. The laurel goes over Dean's neck once again, gives a shake of the hand to Jamie. And that top spot once again, and we know that club are getting on with it. So it's the Foreign Vintners sparkling wine being handed to Michael, also to Jamie and also to Dean. So there's your first three, Tim, in the first race of the day here at the 2019 Southern 100, and we'll get back to you. Well done to the top three, Tim.
Thank you very much, Chris Kinley. Wow, what a start we've had then to the Steam Packet 2019 Southern 100 meeting. Dean Harrison then was the quickest, and let's just have a look. The 7 laps, 16 minutes he's gone under the 16 minutes. So I think that is a race record for Dean Harrison at 15 minutes 55.055 seconds. In the programme, it's down as Dean Harrison in 2018 at 16 minutes 25.85 seconds. So he has taken half a minute, that is. He's taken off the race record. Very, very impressive start from the reigning solo champion. Second then was number 3, Michael Dunlop. Third, number 36, Jamie Coward. In fourth, and up to fourth, he got ahead. They had a good battle, did Rob Hodson and Ryan Neame, but it was Hodson that got fourth. Fifth was number 10, Ryan Neame. Sixth, number 6, Sam West. Seventh, number 17, Joe Ackroyd. Eighth, number 65, Michael Sweeney. Ninth was number 11, Mark Parrott. 10th, number 2, Dominic Herbertson. 11th, number 40, Rhys Hardesty. 12th, number 42, Jonathan Perry. 13th, number 92, Jamie Williams. In 14th, number 71, Davy Morgan. 15th was number 30, Richard Charlton. 16th, number 64, Stephen McKnight. In 17th was number 31, Brad Vickers. 18th, number 46, that's Anthony Redmond. 19th, number 14, and that is Dean Osborne. As number 80, I think that was just going past us, Barry Ferber, under the control there of a travelling marshal. And in 20th was number 73, David Brooke. But as Chris was intimating, they are going to try and whittle through. Now, they had a whole host of 600cc entries, so in practice for the past 2 days, they've split them into 2 sessions. Too many bikes would have been out on the course at the same time, and because of the qualifying there will be a mix of white and yellow plates for the next 2 races. That was just based on the qualifying groups that they went out on. I'm not going to list you all the non-starters. We're just going to have to go with what we've got in front of us here. But on pole, I can tell you for the B race for the 600s will be number 83, Ben Shuttlewood. Front row, 33 in the middle is Alan Johnston. And then number 22, Frankie Stennett. Then we have 84, Don Gilbert on the second row. Number 51, Rad Hughes. And number 4, Lee Hembry. Then it's number 45, newcomer Daniel Forbes, the man from Leeds, is on the third row. Then it's number 57 from Kurt Michael, and that is Michael Brew. And completing the third row is number 19, and that is Michael Mace on the Triumph Daytona. Fourth row, number 37. 37 is Colin Croft. Then it's 49, and that is Stephen Beale from Lower Foxdale. And number 121, and 121 is Jack Fowler. Fifth row is number 53. Number 53 being Kieran Brookie from Northwich. Number 18, and that is Christian Hirsch from Austria. And number 52, and 52 is Brian Clark, another Triumph on the grid. Sixth row is number 38. 38 is Jordan McFerrin from Newton Abbey. Then it's 113. 113 is Jason Wilkes. And then it's 56, and 56 is Albert Walker from Torquay down on the south coast. Seventh row is number 41, that's Michael Bates. Then it's number 50. Number 50 is Paul Marley from Scarborough, and number 100, and 100 is Craig Houghton. Then the eighth row is number 21. 21 is Chris Watson. Number 99 is Jeffrey Lunn. And number 63, let me find him in the programme, is Andrew Castle from Lincoln. Ninth row is number 86, and 86 is an additional entry. That is David Glossop. He's on a Kawasaki from Wilmslow. So that is number 86. Then it's number 27. Number 27 is Brian Fuge from Poole. And number 60 is also in this race, and that is Tim Burrows. And the 10th row, we only have 30 in each of the races. Number 58 and number 58 is Lawrence Jones from Clitheroe. Number 97, that's Edward Hosker from Clitheroe. So forming a nice friendship on the back row there. And number 59 is the final bike on the grid, Neil Lloyd. More useful, I think, to go through the whole grid than just read out the no entries or the non-starters to this race. So that is the only additional entry. 86, David Glossop, a newcomer, and he is on a Kawasaki. No changes in machine or rider. So that front row then, and then we will have our second 600 race, and on pole for that will be once again Dean Harrison, our last race winner, ahead of 36 Jamie Coward. He's in the middle this time, and 3 Michael Dunlop. We're going to see a lot of those top 3, I think, and they were separated in the next race by less than 0.8 of a second. This one though, it's going to be a little bit slower because it is the qualifiers from 31 down to 60 that will make this race, unless a few have retired, and then there is a waiting list further down. But the top 30 go into the main race, which follows, and that is the Radcliffe Butchers 600cc race, both though over the 7 laps, so they're all getting the same race distance, which is nice to see. But don't be confused, there will be a mixture of yellow and white plates, but that is just that's just been done to put them in the groups for this session. Well, let's quickly go to Chris Kinley, because I think the gate's already going to open, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely, Tim. Already open and gone. Lots of orange bibs in this one. So obviously a lot of guys won't qualify for what they call the A race. We got the solos heading out with the Traveller Marshall, and at the back you'll see John Holden and Lee Kane. Said he was struggling last night with a little bit of a misfire, but happy enough he was 4th place in qualifying for the Sidecar race. They've done a bit of a change of an engine as well, so hopefully this will be a little bit cleaner. They've asked the club if they can go at the back, and they're just going to have a little tickle round, because that is their right. So there we go, Tim. The 600B race, if you want, whatever you want to call it, that they're heading out around the 4.25 mile circuit, the Colas Ballown circuit, and let's head over to Roy Moore across 4 ways.
Tricky was the fact that you've put everything together, but we've just kind of highlighted the numbers that Tim has got there. So apologies if we don't quite get them, but if we get the number, well, there. But that's not much use to anybody who's listening around the world, probably, or around the circuit, if they haven't got the number to go with the name. So we're always conscious of that. It's one thing that was kind of drummed into you very, very early in your career about giving names and numbers. But if you can't give the name, if there's too many of them, well then just the numbers, and that gives reassurance if it's on the TT Mountain course that the rider in question has gone through. Maybe it's slightly different in this day and age where you can follow them round on a tracker device, so there might be not as much panic. But in the early days, even when the timekeepers were doing the race by pen and paper, certainly it was the thing that was drilled home to me about mentioning, even if it's just the number, it gives the assurance of the families and stuff listening in about it. But the boys are here now, and we will go through numbers, and it's 83, and it's 33, and then 41, 19, 45, 51. Some of them are very prominent on the front. 37 would get my vote, but then when you come to 1 or 2 others, you're wondering how on earth you're going to lead them. There's number 38 on the yellow plate, 141, and then 50, 99 is a good one for the commentators here across 4 ways, as is number 60, 59 with the Joey Dunlop replica helmet on. Well, he'll be one there. That will be no problem at all in identifying him. And there is John Holden on the Silicone Barnes machine, just testing the engine. Ooh, did he miss a gear just going out of the cross 4 ways? I think he did. That won't do a new engine any good at all. The revs soared up there. I think he missed a gear going away, but the car comes over the top. The boys have streamed through Church Bends and down through Great Meadow. They'll be probably through Castletown Stadium now, and then they'll be assembling on the bypass in the site off there. Tim Glover.
Thanks very much indeed, Roy. Yes, the paddleboards will be going up in the air very shortly as the riders we can see coming across the bridge. The travelling marshal is into view with the headlights starting to look a little bit brighter, but so far the cloud is high and there's no threat yet, I'm glad to report, of any of the wet stuff. So Marshall just goes through. Quite a few of the machines just being weaved from side to side just to retain that heat in the tyres. As number 83, Ben Shuttlewood, makes his way onto the front row. 33, Alan Johnson there. And 22, it should go well, Frankie Stennett on the front row as well. Technical officials just moving back as well. Just having a quick look, cursory glance at all the machines. And as Chris Kinley rightly said, a lot of bibs there, the orange bibs on the riders, the newcomers. They're getting their first proper mass start here at Boulogne. And you can just sense the anticipation here at the front. But the officials are still making their way to the back, and Ruth Costain will be there, deputy clerk of the course, and once she raises the green flag, which she does right on cue, the sign goes up. They're watching the lights, watching the lights, watching the lights. Oh, steady, number 22. Just got away a little early there, did Frankie Stennett. Let's go to Chris Kinley.
Breathe in, everybody. Here we go. 600B race. Frankie Stennett wasn't there, and the Triumph, I just spotted a Triumph at the front there too, but not exactly sure who's in the lead because they're all very bunched up. And number 22, Frankie Stennett, did make a good start. He was in third position.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, just got a little bit keen there. Number 22, Frankie Stennett on the start line. I think he was just trying to anticipate the lights going out and get his race underway, but he had to hold back once and hold back a second time. But I don't think he gained an advantage because I think Johnston and Shuttlewood got away, and others on the second row seemed to be swarming all over him as well. But yeah, just a clear sign of the eagerness to get away. So this JCK Limited 600ccB race 1. 7 laps, 29.75 miles ahead of them. And, well, let's hope we get some really close quarter action racing. Let's head out to Cross Four Ways. Roy Moore.
Yeah, the anticipation of the weather, I think, is coming in our favour. The way the clouds are forming down here across Four Ways, I think and I hope we will get away from it. That will be of no interest to the boys now, who'll be going for the first time down through the Boulogne Dip under race conditions, and certainly that will be a sight to behold. Ballabeg hairpin, the tight right-hander, then out onto the back part of the circuit. There's somebody who just made a bit of a break, but certainly behind him there's 4 together. We'll just be numbers, I think. First lap, it is number 84 from 83, from 51, from 19, from 27, 45, 12, 50 something, 37, 49's got a unique line into Cross Four Ways, but it looks as though they've got them all sorted out. But that was the case, so it was leading here across Four Ways, number 84. We check our programme. That was Don Gilbert from number 83. 83 there being Ben Shuttlewood. In third place was number 51 as they went through. So that would be Brad Hughes and probably one of the favourites. And then in fourth place, number 19, Michael Mace. So that was the order through Cross Four Ways, lap number 1. But I hope the numbers were advantage. But certainly they will be streaming now again for the first time down through Stadium Bend. And for the first time, Tim, they'll be on the bridge.
They are, and just one a little bit ahead, but there was a whole host behind him, and it is across the line 84 that leads. Don Gilbert then in the lead, but there's just like a long elastic string of bikes going through here on the Castletown bypass at the moment. So it is 84 Don Gilbert, 1.1 second ahead of 83 Ben Shuttlewood in third, and 0.7 back is number 51 Rad Hughes. Fourth is number 22 Frankie Stennett, and that's the top 4 so far. As well, we've got all 30 I think now through. Brian Fuge, the last of them through there at number 27. But up at the top of the board, it is 22 Frankie Stennett in fourth. Fifth was number 19 Michael Mace. Sixth was the newcomer Daniel Forbes, number 44-5. Seventh, number 57, Michael Brew. Eighth, number 121, Jack Fowler. Ninth, number 4, Lee Hembry. And in 10th, number 33, Alan Johnston. So it is number 84, Don Gilbert, that seems to have made the move on the Kawasaki from Nutbourne. From number 83, Ben Shuttlewood, and he is on the Triumph. That is the Leicester rider, Shuttlewood. And in third, it's number 51, Rad Hughes. 1.8 seconds across the top three. Let's go to Roy at Cross Four Ways.
Yeah, Kawasaki, the winner of the first race. Kawasaki leading, smaller capacity in the second race. Could it be the double? We'll be able to tell you very, very shortly indeed. There is the rider, but he certainly seems to be not as far ahead as he was on the previous lap. But is it number 84, first into Cross Four Ways? It certainly is. 51 goes up the inside of 83. It works by the look of it, but certainly they're streaming through. 33, 4 in amongst there. 37 down through tight to the inside, and 53 and 49, 113, 38 and 52 is the best we can do. But on numbers, 84 equates to, in first place, Don Gilbert. In second place, number 83 Ben Shuttlewood with third. Number 51 there, so no change in the order. 51 Rad Hughes third, within fourth place number 19 Michael Mace, and then in fifth place number 22, if they went through Cross Four Ways, 22 Frankie Stennett. So he's moving backwards, there are a couple backwards anyway, and then 45 and 51, but they'll be on the bridge, Tim.
Perfect timing, Roy, and yeah, looked a little bit closer maybe this time up there on the bridge, but just the one rider. No, it's I think going to be an extended advantage. It is number 84. Real battle between 83 and 51 for second and third. Michael Mace, number 19, has moved up into fourth position. Don Gilbert then leads by 2.1 seconds now, and it was a 99.167 mile per hour lap from the race leader Gilbert. Shuttlewood in second, 2.1 seconds down, 98.496 for him. Third, number 51 Rad Hughes. Fourth, and moving up, number 19 Michael Mace at the end of lap 2. Fifth was number 22 Frankie Stennett. Newcomer Daniel Forbes, number 45, is in sixth. Seventh, number 57, Michael Brew. Eighth, number 33, and moving up, that's Alan Johnston. Ninth is number 4, Lee Hembry. 10th, number 121, Jack Fowler. So Johnston has moved up there into 8th position, number 33. 11th is 37, Colin Croft. And in 12th, number 53, Kieran Brocky. But it is Gilbert who leads an extended advantage. It's 2.171 seconds to be absolutely precise. 99.167 miles per hour ahead of Shuttlewood and Hughes. Let's go to Roy at Cross Four Ways.
Yeah, when you're a newcomer to a circuit, there's certain parts that you take to and others you can never get right, but that's part and parcel of road racing. But I would say that the second place man has made inroads here. It's certainly less than 2 seconds as they come into Cross Four Ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 84, 83, 51, 19 and 22 and 45 and 51 and 4 and 33 and 120. Is that? Oh no, that's number 12. As quickly as that as they go through, but certainly it says number 84 still leading Don Gilbert from 83 as it has been previous. Ben Shuttlewood third place for number 51 there. Is that a move up the leaderboard? No, Rad Hughes still holding on to third place, and then 19 as he was on the previous 2 laps, holding on to that fourth position. Number 19 there, Michael Mace. In fifth position, number 22. So no change, in fact, in the first 6. 22 in fifth place, number 22 there being Frankie Stennett, and sixth place for number 45. Over to you, Tim.
Yeah, looked a little bit closer on the bridge, I have to say, and one bike, 2 bikes emerged. It is going to be less than the 2 seconds. 84 from 83, 51, 19 and 22, and the lead down to 0.781 of a second. So nearly 1.4 second change, but it is still number 84, Don Gilbert, who leads, but quickest in the race on that lap was number 83, and that was Ben Shuttlewood, 99.879 miles per hour on lap 3 for Shuttlewood, quickest of the race. Third is number 51, Rad Hughes, and he's only 1.3 seconds down on Shuttlewood. 99.087 for him as more terrific action here on the bypass further down the field. Fourth is number 19, Michael Mace. Fifth, number 22, Frankie Stennett. Sixth, number 45, Daniel Forbes. Seventh is number 44, Lee Hembry. He's moved up the pecking order. Eighth is number 57, Michael Brew. Ninth, number 33, Alan Johnston. Holding station in 10th is number 121, Jack Fowler. But it is Don Gilbert. The lead has come down from 2.1 to 0.781 on that third lap. 83, Ben Shuttleworth's in second. And then in third, still very much in contention, is Rad Hughes, as is number 19, Michael Mace. This isn't over yet. Roy Moore, cross four ways.
It certainly isn't, and Don Gilbert and Ben Shuttleworth, well, we called it right, I suppose. It was noticeably different on the approach, and will it be any different? No. In fact, there's 5-6 riders, I would suggest, virtually together as they come, and behind them another 6 battling. Here's number 83. He has taken the lead. There was 84. Is he through? No sign of him as yet. 45, 4, 41 and 33, so that is the case as they go through. I don't think we spotted number 84. Yes, he was down to third place. So the early race leader down to third place, but it's 83, Ben Shuttleworth, the new race leader here from number 19, Michael Mace, within third place now. Number 84, Don Gilbert, and in fourth place, number 51 as they went through. 51 there being Rad Hughes, so he relegated as well. And then in fifth place, it was number 22. Number 22 as they went through, Frankie Stennett. And in sixth place, number 45, Daniel Forbes. Brakes getting heard in the background. They're on the bridge, Tim.
Yeah, and as a scutch of bikes, as you would say, Roy, up there on the bridge. 2 emerge, 2 more, and another behind, and it is 83 and 19. So it is a change of lead. It is Ben Shuttleworth that now leads, number 83, and he's 0.453 seconds ahead of Michael Mace, his quickest lap of the race at 99.707. But I can tell you, watch number 4, Lee Hembry. He's moved up from being in 9th position at the end of lap 2. He's currently now in 6th, and he's done 100.119 miles per hour. So keep an eye on number 4. The gaps are small, 0.4 between the leader, Shuttleworth, and in second, number 19, Michael Mace. And then it's 0.9 from the lead. So there's 0.9 between the top 3. Number 84, Don Gilbert, is in third. Up to fourth is number 22, Frankie Stennett. And he is just 1.3 off the lead. And fifth is number 51. That's Rad Hughes. And he is just 1.9 down on the race leader. So less than 2 seconds cover the top 5 here at the Colas Balaun course as we've completed 4 of 7 laps. But the new race leader is number 83, Ben Shuttleworth. But he's got a less than half a second ahead of Michael Mace. There's nothing in this. Let's go to Roy at Cross Four Ways.
Well, there's nothing in it. We did predict it as we saw them all bunched up together here. And what's going to be the position here? There's 2 broken clear off 2, 3 behind them. So there is a bit of a gap between the first 2 and the second 3. Oh, number 19 gets the whole shot into the inside. Will they make it stick? 51, that's excitement there. Desperately coming in there, number 19. But I think he took the read briefly, Michael Mace. But certainly if he didn't quite get it on the angle going away, well then Ben Shuttleworth, who was right behind him, might have just got it away on acceleration. Don Gilbert, number 84, was still there, as was number 22, Frankie Stennett. So a bit of a change maybe, as number 49 is trying to go up the inside, but that doesn't work. Number 49 there being Stephen Beale, local rider Stephen Beale. But certainly that is the case. I think there might have been a new leader right on the apex here at Cross Four Ways, number 19, but only just. Over to you, Tim. They're on the bridge.
They are indeed, and 6 at least bikes spotted across the bridge, and the first 2 emerge over the top. And here come, oh, what a race this is. 83 still leads, half a second ahead of number 19, Michael Mace. So Ben Shuttleworth, well, if he did lose the lead at Cross Four Ways, he's regained it, and he's just added a little bit to his advantage because it's 0.5. It was less than half a second. Previous lap was splitting hairs, I know. So 83 from 19. In third is 84. That's Don Gilbert. He's 1.2 seconds off the lead. Moving up into fourth is number 51, Rad Hughes. He is just 1.3 off the lead. And in fifth, number 22, Frankie Stennett, he's just 1.6. But sixth place, number 4, Lee Hembry, is getting closer to the lead, and he's gone quickest in the race again, 101.008, and he's just, well, he's less than 2 seconds off our race leader, number 83, Ben Shuttlewood. So keep an eye, as I said last lap, on number 4, Lee Hembry, maybe just running out of laps, but, well, he really is putting in a real concerted charge up the order here. Seventh is number 45, the newcomer, Daniel Forbes. Eighth, number 33, Alan Johnston. Ninth, 57, Michael Brew. 10th is number 121, Jack Fowler. 2 seconds less than covers the top 6. Let's go out to Roy at Cross Four Ways.
Yeah, stationary yellow flag here across 4 ways. I think somebody stopped on the way up to Church Bends, but that's all cleared now. Machine failure, another rider had to pull in here across. There's absolutely across the road coming in here to Cross 4 Ways on lap number 7. Who's it going to be? 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 4 is up there amongst them, 22.51. I'll have to rely on my good lady to say that leading was number 83 as they went through. Number 83, Ben Shuttlewood, but it was only just from number 19. Number 19 there, Michael Mace, and number 84 was in there, but also was number 4, I think, in amongst it, and 45 and 51 were there as well, and the last of those, number 51, Brad Hughes, but they were virtually across the road here at Cross 4 Ways as they came down on lap number 7, so with the 6, so with 1 to go, well, certainly it's going to be interesting, if not spectacular, and certainly with the acute hairpins here, it might go down to when they're on the bridge, Tim.
We're looking up the railway line, and yes, we have got a cavalry charge coming here. 1, 2, 3, they're right across the road onto this last lap. And making the move there was 22 up into second. Number 4, Lee Hembry, is now into 4th position. And he's very, very much involved. And looking at it, there's now 7 riders separated by just 1.5 seconds. What a race this is. But it's Ben Shuttlewood, number 83, who leads. He's 0.413 ahead of number 22, Frankie Stennett. He just got in front of number 19, Michael Mace, on the line. He's just 0.419 off the lead. In 4th now is number 4, Lee Hembry. He's just 0.463 off the lead. And, well, 101 was on lap 5, so he didn't go quicker, but he was in amongst traffic there. 5th is number 84, Don Gilbert, and we're on the last lap. He's just 0.6 off the lead, and in 6th is number 51, Brad Hughes, 1.3 off the lead. 7th, number 45, the newcomer, Daniel Forbes. He's only 1.5 seconds down off the lead. He's gone over the 100 as well at 100.275. We're in for a spectacular last lap. Tuck your legs in here because this is going to be tremendous. Stand by for one of the great finishes here at the Colas Balaun course. Roy Moore, this is going to be epic.
And there has been some close finishes down here at Balaun. Fractions of a second separating. Dan Neen was involved in one, but there's somebody made a bit of a break. Who's going to got the break? There's 5, 6, 7, I would think. But there's somebody just got ahead, and it is number 4. Number 4, Lee Hembry, who leads. The rest are streaming through. All the ones are there. Ben Shuttlewood, Michael Mace, Don Gilbert, Frankie Stennett and Lee Hembry. We'll try to put them in order, but a new race leader at Cross 4 Ways, and it is number 4 with that record lap. Number 4, Lee Hembry, who is just ahead of 22, Frankie Stennett, who is then ahead of number 83, we estimate here. That would be Ben Shuttlewood, and then 4th, number 19, as they went through, was Michael Mace, but it's still anybody's, but a bit of about 2 machine lengths from the race leader here at Cross 4 Ways. Number 4, where did he come from to get involved in this right at the very front? Well, records over 100 mile an hour, but we don't want to miss it. They'll be on the bridge, Tim.
On the bridge. Yeah, there does seem to be Bike just ahead. He was 9th at the end of lap 2 as number 4. And who is it going to be as they come into view? It is number 4, and he nods his head as he crosses the line. Lee Hembry has come from 9th at the end of lap 2 to finish 0.7 ahead of number 22, Frankie Stennett. 3rd, number 83, Ben Shuttlewood. What a win for Hembry. Chris Kinley.
What a cracking race. Lee Hembry came from way back, and good to see Frankie Stennett, local guy who runs up there at Derby, getting himself also up onto that podium in the 600 race sponsored by JCK. And we'll get the presentation done for this in a few minutes, and we'll get over to Lee. Gives Frankie a bit of a handshake. Lee, let you take your gloves off. That was hard work. I know the club are very conscious about the weather that could be coming in, so they want to be getting on with stuff here. We'll let him take his gloves off. Yeah, so number 4 from 22 from 83. They were your top 3. So 2 Kawasaki's and a Triumph. And Lee came from a long way back to win that.
Oh, that was hard work, I tell you, Chris.
Talk us through it.
Yeah, it's just really poor start and got stuck behind a few of the other lads in, places where I want to pass safe, Give everybody opportunity, and then just got my head down, got a rhythm, and yeah, we're here.
What was that like, that last couple of laps in the 6 or 7 of you?
Oh, those boys can ride hard, I tell you. Good fun, really good fun. Not
Safe.
Only, it's the B class, it's the B final, but, we all ride just as hard as the other guys in the A final, so credit to everybody in this class.
Great, well done. Yeah. Fantastic ride. Well done, Lee.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Well, buddy, cheers, and let's go and have a word with Frankie if we can. We'll get round to the bike if we can. And well, last time I seen Frankie on a bike, he was off a bike up at the plot race at Derby on Saturday. Wow, enjoy that.
Ace fun, really enjoyed it. Made the start a bit hard for myself, made a bit of work for the first lap. I think I was in 7th when I came round, and then sort of chipped away, sort of gauged my pace. I was sort of quicking the lads ahead, and then your man here sort of put a good move in, and I got held up a little bit, and then sort of couldn't really catch him up, and it's one of those. But it was a good race, enjoyed it, and happy to take a bit of silverware or second place home.
Bit of cash.
That's it, that'll do.
Not a bad year so far up at Derby, but this kind of tops it a bit, doesn't it? Getting a podium at the Southern 100.
Yeah, this is unreal. It's just sort of the first step, but obviously most important one was the plot race there.
And that was good fun.
That was good fun.
Talk us about the last lap. What was that like, 7 of you?
Yeah, it was good. It was a bit hairy, and there's a few sort of moves. I tried to put up your man a few times at the inside, cut the nose off, and then sort of had to gauge where I could get past him. And yeah, it was just really good fun. Really enjoyed it.
Well done, Frank.
Cheers, thank you.
Well done, buddy. Cheers. And we'll speak to Ben, who's got 3rd place on the Triumph. And Big Dale. Ben, how was that?
Well, that was hard work, that. I don't know where he came from. He came out of nowhere.
He was 9th on about the 4th lap.
Yeah, well, tell you what, fair play to him for coming from 9th to 1st. I mean, happy days. It was hard work, that. I saw a lot of front wheels trying to, come by me. All I could do was try and block them, and that was it. Kind of scared myself a little bit. I had a big old tank slapper coming out of Ballabeg. It's like, hey up, here we go. But let's just kind of knuckle down again, crack on. Oh well, it's 3rd, it's a podium. Fair that spot, but but no, well deserved.
Well done.
Great race.
Well done, man. Cheers. Well done, Ben. Well done. Congratulations. So there you go. There's your first 3 in the JCK Limited 600B race, and I think we are ready to do the podium. If you want to get the bikes up onto there, Tim, just tidy up those results, Tim, and then come back when we're ready to go.
Yeah, first Lee Hembry, then 0.773 seconds, and Frankie Stennett in second. Ben Shuttlewood third. 4th was number 19, Michael Mace. 5th, number 84, Don Gilbert. 6th, number 45, Daniel Forbes. 7th, number 51, Rad Hughes. 8th, number 33, Alan Johnston. 9th, number 57, Michael Brew. And in 10th was number 121, Jack Fowler. Hembry, then number 4, was in 9th position at the end of lap 2, 7th at the end of lap 3. The end of laps 4 and 5, he was in 6th. And then the penultimate lap, going into the last lap, he was still down in 4th. But, of course, ended up top of the pile after the 7 laps. A fantastic victory there for Lee Hembry. Back to you, Chris Kinley.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Tim. So the top 3 up onto the top, and Aidan coming from JCK is here to do the presentation. We thank JCK as we do all our sponsors here at the Southern 100. So just let Frankie get his bike into position. So, ladies and gentlemen, in 3rd place, number 83, Ben Shuttlewood. Well done, Ben, on the Triumph. 2nd place, local man, number 22, Frankie Stennett. Well done, Frankie. And your race winner, number 4, Lee Hembry. So a try for the Kawasaki and the Yamaha, the 1, 2, 3, Tim, and we'll hand it back to you to set up the next race. But well done to our top 3, and thanks once again to JCK as he gets a Forage and Vintners sparkling wine. Back to you.
Yes, the man from Glastonbury then, Lee Hembry, with the winner on the Yamaha. And, well, we called it about half race distance when he suddenly threw in a 100-mile-an-hour lap on lap 4 and then 101 on lap 5. But he's really, really earned that victory, working his way up from 9th at the end of lap 1 and 2. Never led the race until he crossed the line. Well, he led the race across 4 ways, as Roy was telling us, but number 4 it was that gets the victory. Fantastic victory that was. Well, if the B race is, if the A race is half as good as the B race, we're in for another thriller here. I can tell you in practice that there was 0.8 seconds separating the top 3 in this, but in pole, it's that man again, Dean Harrison, on the Silicone Engineering Yamaha. He is in pole, 36, and 36 is, of course, Jamie Coward. He's on the Prez Racing Yamaha, and in third on the grid is number 3, and that is Michael Dunlop on the MD Racing Honda. So that is your tantalising front row. Competition from behind will come from the Wilcott Consulting Honda of number 5, and that is Michael Evans. He's the first of the second row. Then it's number 2, the man from Hexham on the Davies Motorsport Kawasaki, Dominic Herbertson. And then it's number 15, and that is Nathan Harrison on the Chris Preston Suzuki. Third row is number 6, Sam West. Number 44, and that is Rob Hodson. He's on the Triumph. And number 65 being, of course, the man from the Skerries, Michael Sweeney. Number 94 is the first on the 4th row. Number 94 is Stephen Parsons. Number 30 is in the middle of the 4th row. And number 30 is, so I'll just move the cake off my programme. Number 30 is Richard Charlton. Number 17 is also on that row, Joe Ackroyd, the man from Knaresborough on his Suzuki. The 5th row is number 11, that's Mark Parrott. Number 35, and 35 is Stephen Smith from Liverpool. And number 92, that is Jamie Williams, the Douglas man on the NCE Racing Honda. 6th row is number 25. 25 is Samuel Mousley from Swansea on the Yamaha. Number 118, Andy Saylor. And number 31 is Alan Johnston. 7th row is number 61. That is Matt Milcreast. Number 82 is going to be an additional entry. Let's just have a look at the sheet. We'll have to confirm who 82 is. But number 71 is Davy Morgan. 39 is the first on the row 8, 39, and that is Alan Brooks. Number 20 is on that row as well. That's Paul Cassidy. And number 182, the newcomer here, but well known at the TT, our French friend, Xavier Denis. 9th row is number 47, Steve Haddo. Number 77 is Adrian Harrison. And number 80, and to confirm that is Barry Ferber. And then the 10th row is number 81, David McConaughey. Number 26, and that is Dennis Booth from Ballymena. And number 75, Dave Moffat on his Honda. So that those are the starters for the Radcliffe Butchers 600cc race. Yellow and white plates again mixed up. Remember, that was just for qualifying. 7 laps ahead, 29.75 miles. And let's just get some thoughts from, first of all, Roy Moore on what we've just seen and what we could be just about to see, because this has got the potential to be just as good as the race we've just witnessed. Roy Moore, cross 4 ways.
Yes, I suppose if you put it in Wimbledon terms, you've just looked at the outside courts for the first time, but then they're in centre court when you come to the Radcliffe Butchers 600 race. But how many times has somebody who started out on the outside courts got through to finals on the centre court? And it's exactly the same with motorcycling. You only have to look through the newcomers Manx Grand Prix winners list and see the names of Steve Hislop and Ian Hutchinson, Martin Finnegan, and many, many more as well that have come through. And certainly we've got a few names to juggle with here after that one. But it's a good idea, really, because there's so many 600s available to be ridden, and it's a good way of doing it, because if they had the first race and then they had a 600 race with the quality lineup that's in this particular one, well, then there would be no time at all for them to get sorted out. So they've had a chance now to put the 1000 cc's away for before tomorrow, and then get the 600 out and be kind of refreshed. I'm sure that one or two of them would be looking at that race and saying the opposition that's going to be along in the future is going to be coming from that particular one. But certainly, yeah, it was interesting, and number 4 just appeared here at Cross Four Ways. We hadn't kind of noticed them. I think we might have called them out as they went through, and again, it's apologies, but certainly when you've got 7 or 8, I don't care whether you're Fred Clark or Roy Moore or Tim Glover, you're very, very difficult to get the job sorted out here when it's just purely looking at numbers. But we're looking forward to this next one, because again, it's going to be a kind of a dash for the cash, if you can call it that, and certainly it'll all be down to the start. But certainly on these 600s, it's going to be very, very interesting indeed to see who will be making the whole shot and who will be first down in here to the tight right-hander across 4 ways. We'll have it all in thing. We've got the list. We haven't done anything to the list. We did actually stripe through on the previous one, and then it gives us an indication of who we were actually looking for. But with this, it'll be visual identification first, and then the numbers. And Dean Harrison and Michael Dunlop, as they were in the first race, got no doubt to believe that they will be involved in this. Lovely little ceremony down there at Maloo Church on Sunday, where they kind of, Reverend John Caldwell came in, Canon John Caldwell, my apologies, and lovely little service there. And it was interesting to hear Keith, Mr. Tubby, giving a resume of all how the Southern 100 started. And would you believe they measured this course with a chain? Not many people remember what a chain was. It's 22 yards long. And one morning, remember in 54, probably 55, when the idea came up, they measured down the centre of the road. Certainly just prior to the road closing, you would be a brave man to go down the centre of a road with a length of chain to measure anything. But in those days, these things could be done, and that's how they arrived at the measurement of the Ballown. And it's not changed. And in fact, the circuit or the course has not changed in any way as well. Certainly there's been no major alterations, unlike the TT Mountain course, where Windy Corner is different, Brandish is certainly different, Quarry Bends, Appledene, all been totally altered to suit the local traffic. But certainly if you've been heading south over the years, well, then you always take it cross 4 ways down to Ballabeg and then turn right, and that is the kind of route down to the south of the island, unchanged. So there'll be centre getting all lined up there down at the bypass, I'm absolutely certain, and getting sorted out for this, the race number 2A, it is in the official programme, the Radcliffe Butchers 600 race. And there was a Radcliffe Butchers machine into the church. I know my good lady and I, she does the timekeeping here with me at Cross 4 Ways. That was the scene of our marriage all those years ago. I daren't guess as to how many years ago was it. How many, Mrs.? 40, 45? 44 maybe. Somewhere round about that. It was in the early 70s anyway. I can recall it as though it was yesterday. But that's a different story altogether. So, delighted to be involved in the commentary down at the Southern 100, and it's 54 years of Manx Radio as well. And certainly there's a combination there between the two, in the fact that when you look at the old photographs of all those years ago in 1955, when Manx Radio celebrated last Saturday in June the 29th, and 2019, they were 54 years of age, and certainly it's 64 years ago, the start of the Southern 100. But in the background, you'll see large speakers down on the bypass there. They're the property of Mr. Taubman now, that you're hearing the voice coming out from Cross 4 Ways. But it was a chap called Harold Colburn who was involved in setting up Manx Radio all those years ago. I can well remember, and there is a TT connection, because the photograph which appeared in the local paper indicating that there was going to be a local radio station starting. We weren't the national broadcaster then, we were just Manx Radio, and it was up in a field in Ballacurry. And it passed the grandstand to go to this field in Ballacurry, and Ballacurry and Onken. And certainly Ballacurry and Onken was part of TT history as well, because it was part, and the caravan was parked against a wall, which was part of the old Clips course all those years ago when they brought racing to Onken, if you can call it that, and devised the Clips course to bring back 125, 250 and sidecar races. And they would be actually not in that particular year, it was well gone by then, but certainly in the previous to that, in 55 onwards, they started the Clips course, and it went past the old original Manx radio bond there. But that picture of them going up past the grandstand is one that always springs to mind. Harold Colburn, a man who was in the south of the island, and now they were official partners, we are, Manx Radio, of the Southern 100 Club. So it's all memories, all different things that you can get. And certainly that is the case about down here at Ballown. When you think of all the things that have happened again in the early days when there was no technology on the start line there with transponders or anything like that, going back to when Phil Reed and Alan Shepherd dead heated one particular evening in the early 60s down there. That would have been separated now by transponders. But again, images from that particular occasion show line judges sat virtually level with the line, obviously, and then deciding who'd done it, and they couldn't come to a conclusion, so it was in fact a dead heat. But in the programme, which is a very, very good buy, it gives you all the bits and pieces about history of it like that. But there'll be a bit more history going on in the Radcliffe Butchers 600 race. But back to Tim Glover on the bypass, which started it all really. As soon as they bypassed Castletown, it gave them the opportunity to race round this Colas Ballown course. Tim Glover.
Well, they still, of course, do have the line judges here, and I'm told we did have a race a few years ago where it happened, but the computer was saying one thing, but they called it the other way round, and it was all down to where your transponder is on the bike. But the line judges did call the race, and I think Dean Harrison in the end was declared the winner when the computer screens were actually saying he was second. But yeah, get that transponder as further up the bike as you can. Let's go down then to Chris Kinley. I think we should be getting bikes in order. They are hurrying things along this evening, and rightly so.
Yeah, they are, Tim. Just before we do that, I've got to tell you there's a Harley Davidson key being handed in to the race office down here. It's an Irish plated bike, 06CE4122. Apparently the key was actually in the ignition, so it's an Irish Harley Davidson 06CE4122. I'm on row 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on, let me just work it out. 1, 2. I'm on about row 6 and Mark Parrott number 11. I think you could probably call Mark a veteran of the Southern 100 now. A pretty good showing in the race of the 1000cc race a little bit earlier. I think it was in the top 10, about 9th, I think we said in the end. Also number 25 is just opposite us here now as well, Samuel Molesley. The Swansea rider Dean Harrison just gone past him. Whose money would be on a total Dean Harrison clean sweep in all the solo races for this weekend? Whose money could... Who would like to have a fiver on that, I wonder? Just looking across there to number 118. That's Andy Saylor on the 600 Suzuki. Next to him is number 31, Brad Vickers, 92 along just in front of him. Good to see Jamie Williams, local man, back this year. Jamie had a bit of a big knee operation to get his knee all reconstructed on a 600 Honda, and he's of course got the big bike, the BMW, in the big bike class a little bit later. But nice to see Jamie back out on track. Also nice to see number 20, local man number 20, that is of course Paul Cassidy from Castletown, competes up with Jeremy there on his R6. Mike Norbury there, number 82 on the lovely Spada CBR 600. 75 Dave Moffat, as you quite rightly said, birthday boy number 26. Well, how long has Dennis Booth been competing now? Remember that year, Roy Moore, when he could have and should have won the Manx Grand Prix, the senior Manx Grand Prix, wasn't there? There's Dennis heading off towards Ballakagan. So we are getting set for the 600cc race, the Radcliffe Butchers one, again over a 7-lap distance, 29 3/4 miles. And let's go to Cross Four Ways, Roy Moore.
Yeah, it's that type of night where you can actually, if you just take your headphones off, you can hear the bikes very, very clearly indeed. That's an indication that the wind direction is coming from that way, and I can see now why there's concern about getting all the programme quickly or ahead of schedule if they possibly can, because the clouds out towards there have darkened just that little bit. So they will be now through Ballakagan, down to Iron Gate, swinging it over right, left, over the railway bridge, and then over through Ballinorris on the right-hand side, and then into Ballabeg Hairpin with that famous airport sign, which has had many, many photographs taken of it over the years. Tight round Ballabeg, and we kind of miscalculate the speed that they're going, but certainly I think when you find the sidecars are coming out that they'll be not under any control, but they're sometimes under a car, but now I think they're under the guidance or the restriction, if you can call it that, of a travelling marshal. They will be out onto the back part of the circuit, away through Duck Street, appropriately named, and then through Williams Corner, and then dropping it down by Roy Gelling's Conservatory, up over and cresting the rise as they come towards us here now on the sighting lap down here at Cross Four Ways. And it is Dean Harrison, and it is Michael Evans, and it is Dominic Herbertson, Jamie Coward, Rob Hodson. There's Nathan Harrison on a Honda, I believe. Jackson's associated with that, so he'll be one to watch. Mark Parrott, number 20. He seemed to be going very well in practice the other night. Paul Cassidy, as mentioned there by Chris, and 75. Well, there's a distinctive coloured fairing on that. It looks like a grapefruit when he goes through, but Dave Moffat looking very, very resplendent indeed on Colin Moore's 600. What a birthday gift that is, getting a 600 to ride round here when you didn't have one previous. They've streamed through. The car is approaching us here now. They'll have been round Cross Four Ways, through Church Bends, out onto Great Meadow, and then giving it a little bit of stick. The marshals won't hold back either, and certainly the Honda Fireblade will be given a bit of a wind up there by probably one of the travelling marshals who are on duty down here. They'll be through Stadium Corner, and then all the excitement as they assemble on the line in the view of Tim Glover on the bypass.
Yes, the red flag just to make sure they stop here at the start line here. Doesn't have to step aside now to let the car through, but the marshal just go through on his right-hand side. And, yep, Dean Harrison, there's our pole sitter coming into view. And middle of the front row, number 36 is Jamie Coward. Behind him is number 5, Michael Evans. Here comes Michael Dunlop, number 3, to complete the front row. Just flicks his visor open because he knows there'll be a few seconds while the start line officials and the technical officials make their way back, and the paddle boards marking which row of the grid starting to go down as the full grid now is assembled. 2 travelling marshals at the top of School Hill Rise. Just there with the lights again getting a little bit brighter as we go. And there's one of the course cars with the yellow flashing lights on the top of it as well, as we wait for the green flag at the back. And again, bang on cue, engage gear, flicks the sign round, watch the lights. This is going to be a humdinger and a great start. It looks like by Jamie Coward and Harrison. Let's go to Chris Kinley.
Well, Dean Harrison has the lap record for the 600s, and there's Dean Harrison. Michael Dunlop being swallowed up. Michael Dunlop way back. In fact, Michael has pulled to the right-hand side of the track there, but Dean Harrison did have the lead, Tim.
Well, he did get a good start. Just looked like Jamie Coward got a level with him, but then Harrison just seemed to get a bit of a surge on as they left the line there and they head out. And looking at the lap record for this race, it is Dean Harrison at 110.782 miles per hour. That's 2 minutes 18.109 seconds. Well, they'll have headed towards past the big grandstand that's on view there at the end of the bypass as they make the turn towards Ballabeg at Ballakagan, and then over the railway bridge they go at Iron Gate, past Joey's Gate at Ballinorris and Fuchsia Cottage there, the last one before Ballabeg Hairpin, and then they go along Duck Street, and as Roy's already described, through Ballawhetstone and the riding stables, and shortly will be in the view at Cross Four Ways of Roy Moore.
Yes, as they say on an advert in Manx Radio, the bikers in their leathers will be here shortly, but who will it be in the leathers after leading the 600 Radcliffe Butchers race here at Cross Four Ways? As 1, 2, 3, 4, there's certainly nobody pulled away, and I don't think it's a light-coloured fairing that's coming into Cross Four Ways. It's Michael Evans who leads from Jamie Coward, from Dean Harrison, from Nathan Harrison. That is the first four. There's Rob Hodson through 92. Jamie Williams is amongst that lot there now. 47, 81, 61, 118, 39, 80, 75, Dave Moffat. And then the last to go through is Michael Dunlop, who is cruising here at Cross Four Ways. But it was, as they came in, number 5, local rider Michael Evans from Jamie Coward, within third place, number 1, Dean Harrison. So a bit of a surprise there, but they will be very, very quickly and shortly on the bridge. Tim.
Yeah, we're straining our eyes, looking up the railway line for those that are listening. That makes no sense at all to them. We stare at the railway line. We see now a whole host of bikes crossing through the railings. And, 1, 2, 3 emerge, 4, 5 now. And it is 36 that leads from 5. But he was under immense pressure from number 1, Dean Harrison. So it is 36, Jamie Coward, who's 0.463 seconds ahead of number 5, Michael Evans. In third, and just 0.02, I think that was, behind in third is Dean Harrison. He was looked as if he was about to try and effect an overtaking manoeuvre there on our second place man, but it is Jamie Coward that leads ahead of Michael Evans. Fourth is number 15, Nathan Harrison. Fifth is number 2, Dominic Herbertson. And in sixth place is number 6, Sam West. And I think we're hearing that Dean Harrison did get ahead at the clubhouse, so he was starting to make that move. On second place, number 5, Michael Evans, and has got it. And we can confirm as well, of course, that Michael Dunlop, unfortunately, has retired. But we're not getting any lack of excitement here as 2 seconds cover the top 5. But it is Coward by 0.463 of a second. Who's now, in second we know is Harrison, further down the bypass, and then Evans, and then Nathan Harrison. Let's go to Cross Four Ways. Roy Moore.
Yeah, we'll be able to tell you 1, 2, 3, a crest of the rise coming out towards it. I don't think it's Dean Harrison that's leading, is it? No, it's still Jamie Coward, but Dean Harrison right behind him, 36 and 1, and then it's Michael Evans, then it's Nathan Harrison, then it's Dominic Herbertson, the back end shaking there, then it's number 6, Sam West, and 65 and 44. 65 in there amongst them is number Michael Sweeney, as 47 goes ahead of Mark Parrott here at Cross Four Ways, and number 20 is in there, Paul Cassidy as well, and 77 and 80, and then 26 Dennis Booth, and then 75 Dave Moffat, and the last to go through, number 35, as they take it away from Cross Four Ways, Stephen Smith. But it was still at Cross Four Ways, Jamie Coward, but only just. They're on the bridge, Tim.
Yeah, and immaculate timing as ever there, Roy Moore, as they do traverse the bridge, and they'll have made that turn now. 2 together. It's Coward, but Harrison's right there in his wake there. 0.225 as Harrison moves up to second. There's Evans, Harrison, Nathan, and Dominic Herbertson, top 5 through. 65, Michael Sweeney's made a move up into 7th position, but it's Jamie Coward, number 36, 0.2 seconds ahead of number 1, Dean Harrison. Harrison was quickest on that lap at 108.355 miles per hour, but it's not as if Jamie Coward's hanging around. 108.119 miles per hour for Coward. And then there's a gap of 4.2 seconds to third, and that is number 5, Michael Evans, and his quickest 105.183. Fourth is number 15, Nathan Harrison, at 105.737. He's just 0.3 down on Evans in third. In fifth is number 2, Dominic Herbertson, and he's just 0.6 back from Nathan Harrison. Then in sixth, it's number 6, Sam West. Seventh, number 65, Michael Sweeney. Eighth, number 44, Rob Hodson. Ninth, number 92, Jamie Williams. That's all we've got time to give you. Coward and Harrison. It's going to be a real battle. Who's going to lead at Cross Four Ways? Roy Moore.
Will it be the light-coloured fairing or the darker-coloured fairing that we see first emerge from the dip down there at Ballown? It's still the darker-coloured fairing. It's still Jamie Coward who's leading, we suggest, here across 4 ways. And that is proved now. 36, Jamie Coward. And it's number 1, Dean Harrison, who is right behind him, though, just stalking him out. And it's Michael Evans, and Nathan Harrison gets the back end, floating round a bit. He might lose a place there. Dominic Herbertson might go up the inside. Number 6, Sam West is there. 44, Rob Hodgson, and then 92, Jamie Williams, and 30 is here as well. He goes safely through. Richard Charlton, and then it's 31 and 47 and 6, 82, 20, 25, 11, Mark Parrott, 81 is the last to go through. David McConaughey, 118, makes a move up the inside. Andy Saylor, as he normally does here across 4 ways, but it's still Jamie Coward. They're on the bridge, Tim.
They are indeed, 2 bikes together. Which is going to emerge over School Hill Rise first? They're both together, but it's Coward still in the lead from Harrison, but it's now just 0.184 of a second that Coward, number 36, has the advantage over number 1, Harrison. There's Evans and the other Harrison, Nathan. And they're 8.6 seconds back of the dueling Coward and Dean Harrison. Great battle between Sam West and Michael Sweeney in 6th and 7th. Dominic Herbertson sandwiched in the middle. Number 2, he's in 5th position. But it's all about number 36, Jamie Coward, and number 1, Dean Harrison. And their quickest laps on that particular one. Well, Dean Harrison slightly quicker at 108.666 miles per hour. Jamie Coward, 108.635. Not much difference at all, as there isn't on the timing sheets as well. 0.184 of a second. 7th, 65, Michael Sweeney. 8th, 44, Rob Hodgson. 9th, number 17, moving up, Joe Ackroyd. 10th, number 92, Jamie Williams. 11th is number 30, Richard Charlton. And the highest placed newcomer is 12th, 182, Xavier Denis. Coward and Harrison, cigarette paper dividing them. Let's go to Roy at cross 4 ways.
Yeah, apologies to Michael Sweeney. We're just missing him each time, but that is the advantage of computer technology when you, Tim, can give the full results. But it's still Jamie Coward who leads here across 4 ways, but not by much. Are they together? Virtually the same as it was the previous lap. 36, Jamie Coward. Number 1, Dean Harrison, just hanging in there behind him. Here's the 3rd place rider here coming in now, and it is still Mikey Evans from Nathan Harrison. Bit more control this time. Dominic Herbertson didn't get past him the last time. And there's number 8, Sam West, and then number 65, Michael Sweeney. We didn't miss on that time. 44, Rob Hodgson, and number 17, Joe Ackroyd, and then number 30 as they spread out a little bit. Number 30, Richard Charlton, so no change there as they went through the start, but you get the impression that Dean Harrison is just stalking him out to see what the situation will be. But certainly a great race at the front, but they'll be on the bridge, Tim.
2 bikes almost together across the bridge, and are we going to see 2 together as they come past the line? They do, but it's still Coward that leads. But it's 0.230 as Dean Harrison is almost up his exhaust pipe there in 2nd. They've both gone quicker again. 108.746 for Coward, 108.710 for Dean Harrison. 3rd is number 5, Michael Evans, but he's 11.9 seconds back. Great battle though between West and Sweeney. That's been raging right from the start of this race. But in 3rd, it's number 5, Michael Evans, just ahead of number 15, Nathan Harrison. 5th is number 2, Dominic Herbertson, not too far adrift at Nathan Harrison, but a bit of a gap ahead of 6th place, number 6, Sam West. Nothing between him and number 65, Michael Sweeney's in 7th. Some great battles all the way down the order to keep the fans entertained right the way round this 4 1/4 mile Colas Ballown course. But it's Jamie Coward and Dean Harrison. The practice told us there was very little between Coward and Harrison and Dunlop. Unfortunately, Dunlop, an early retirement, had trouble very early on in the race. And Harrison did mention he wasn't too happy with the 600. Will he be by the end, though? Let's go to Roy at cross 4 ways.
Yes, they didn't get much chance to put rubber down on the track in the TT because it was too wet, but already here across Four Ways you can see it. There they are coming towards us now. Who is it still going to be? It's Dean Harrison, new leader across Four Ways. Dean Harrison, number 1 from 36. Jamie Coward, about the same distance it was, but reversed on the previous laps. So a new race leader here across Four Ways. It's Dean Harrison from Jamie Coward. Third place coming in is still number 5 Michael Evans from number 15 Nathan Harrison, and then number 2 Dominic Herbertson, and they're pulling away from now number 65 Michael Sweeney, and 6 Sam West, and 44 Rob Hodson, and number 17 as they go through Joe Ackroyd. Behind them it's number 30. Down through the box he goes, Richard Charlton, and then number 92 Jamie Williams. But a new leader across Four Ways, it is number 1 Dean Harrison. Is that the same on the bridge, Tim?
I've got a feeling it is Harrison I saw across the bridge first. Indeed it is, but it's still tight. It is Harrison across the line, 109.575. He's pulled the pin, but he's only half a second ahead of number 36 Jamie Coward, and they are well away from the man in 3rd and 4th, but they're here together now. And it stays as Michael Evans in 3rd, but there's only 0.3 of a second to 4th. That's number 15 Nathan Harrison. Dominic Herbertson's through. Michael Sweeney's just got ahead now. Number 65 Michael Sweeney just ahead now, with a little bit more of a gap from number 6 Sam West. 8th is number 44 Rob Hodson. 9th number 17 Joe Ackroyd. 10th number 30 Richard Charlton. 11th 92 Jamie Williams. 12th number 182 Xavier Denis. Fastest for the lap there for Jamie Coward, lap 5, the last lap. We're at the completion of 5 laps now. Jamie Coward 108.999 miles per hour. Harrison 109.575 miles per hour. Half a second is the advantage for Dean Harrison. 2 more laps to go. Let's go to Cross Four Ways. Roy Moore.
Yeah, no problem with lower order riders. Certainly the pace of the boys there are going and they're taking them. They're all well through Cross Four Ways, but who's it going to be that we see first cresting the rise? It's still Harrison. It's the lighter coloured fairing that we see coming down to Cross Four Ways, but Jamie Coward's not letting him get far away. Couple of machine lengths between them, but it is number 1 Dean Harrison who still leads here on lap number 6 at Cross Four Ways. Number 1 Dean Harrison from 36 Jamie Coward, and they have pulled the pin, but the battle for 3rd and 4th looks closer than it has been on previous laps. It's Michael Evans, but right behind him is number 15 Nathan Harrison, and then a bit further back it's number 2 now Dominic Herbertson, who seems to have a bit of front end chatter, and there's Michael Sweeney, and there's Sam West, and he is Rob Hodson. Has he got ahead of number 17? No, I think that was the order as previous. Number 17 Joe Ackroyd. Another machine interview there, that of number 30. He drops it down through the box, but they'll be on the bridge, Tim.
Yeah, 2 machines again spotted in quite close company, and here they go, but it's Harrison who's ahead of Coward as they head out onto their last lap now. And, well, Jamie Coward's put in the quickest lap of the race there. The gap is just 0.452 of a second, but Coward on that last lap, 109.593 compared to Dean Harrison's 109.575 on the previous lap. Who's in 3rd? 3rd is still occupied by number 5, Michael Evans, but there's only, well, less than half a second between him and number 15, Nathan Harrison. 2, Dominic Herbertson safely through in 5th, and there's 6th is Michael Sweeney, number 65. Good battle between Rob Hodson and Joe Ackroyd in 8th and 9th. 7th is number 6, Sam West. 2 more machines into view. That is number 30 through, Richard Charlton, and number 92, Jamie Williams. But, well, they're over 21.5 seconds virtually ahead are Harrison and Coward of 3rd place, Michael Evans. So they really, as Roy just said, have just put the throttle down. And Dean Harrison, well, he can't shake off Jamie Coward, who's going to be in the lead at Cross Four Ways on this final lap. Let's go to Roy Moore.
Well, certainly there wasn't any opportunity on the previous laps for Jamie Coward to get ahead of Dean Harrison here at Cross Four Ways. It was Dean Harrison who had those couple of machine lengths, but I would suggest it's a lot closer as they come down towards us here now at Cross Four Ways for the last time. No, it's probably about the 2, but Dean Harrison is trying hard. He knows that Jamie Coward is right behind him. He won't want him anywhere near at Castletown Corner in case he just nips up the inside and drags him to the line. They're just dropping back now. A gear for taking Church Bends. They'll be sweeping right and left there amongst the many spectators down. But what's the battle for third and fourth? Is that any closer as well? It's still Michael Evans who's just ahead of Nathan Harrison. He gets the back end light again. He's mixed to be losing a bit of time there, and then it's Dominic Herbertson, and then it's Michael Sweeney. His back end going light too as the tyres get a bit worn. Number 6, Sam West is then through, but it's Dean Harrison from Jamie Coward, but they'll be on the bridge, Tim.
And they are indeed. They've coming into view. I think Harrison was ahead as they came through there. Harrison is in the lead. He's going to take win number 20. But a valiant effort there from Jamie Coward. They've both gone over the 110 mile per hour on that lap. 110.276 for Dean Harrison. 110.304, the fastest of the race, to number 36, Jamie Coward. 0.416 of a second was the margin. That is all between them. But there's, well, 2 bikes into view. Who's going to take third? It is number 5, Michael Evans, just ahead of number 15, Nathan Harrison. Let's go to Chris Kinley.
Yeah, great shown by young Nathan riding there, the Jackson boys 600 after his tribulations with the 600 Suzuki he had. And let's speak to, well, let's have a quick chat to Dean Harrison. Dean, enjoy that with Jamie, a good ride.
Yeah, it was brilliant, to be honest. It's great to have somebody to race with. Jamie's riding really well, hats off, to be honest. His bike's really strong. With the TT proved that, because obviously the fastest man through all the speed traps. I know to be a challenge round here with 600 where speed's so important, it's good. I struggled to get past for a few laps.
Where did you get past?
Into, I don't know what call's called actually. Turn 1, what's turn 2 called?
Iron Gate.
He got him into Iron Gate there, just about. I really had to try and slipstream him to make advantage of the speed advantage that he had, so yeah, good, over the moon.
2 out of 2.
Brilliant, thank you.
Well done, Dean. Thank you very much. And Jamie's over here. Let's get him if we can. And Jamie, over the 110 barrier on the 600. You got the pace to run with them.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised by that, to be honest. I didn't feel to be riding overly hard, but obviously to be racing with Dean at the form he's on at the moment, I'm over the moon with that, you know, to be pushing him all the way there. So I made a bit of a boob on last lap. I had a bit of a plan, but you know yourself, plans ever come off sometimes, and unfortunately he didn't do this time. So we'll try again tomorrow.
Where was he quicker than you? Where were you quicker than him? Have you got that worked out?
It's the characteristics of the bikes, to be honest. The R6 top end, it's faster than his, but he just drives out the corners a little bit better. I had a bit of a plan to try and get with him at cross four ways and get a good run out of Church Bends and then doing into Stadium, but unfortunately I made a bit of a boob through the bomb, all had to roll off and he just pulled a bit of a gap, so unfortunate, but hopefully we'll try again tomorrow.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jamie. And Mikey Evans gets a 3rd place. And Michael, good to see you back in here again. How's everything after that? That was hard work.
Yeah, it was hard work, yeah.
Nathan kept you honest.
Yeah, it's weird, those 2 guys, they were much quicker, and like, you know, there's no point in me even trying to go with them. So I kind of ended up on my own, so I knew there was somebody there, and I was just kind of the motivation to, you know, make sure there was someone there, because you know, I've had it before where you think there's someone behind you and there isn't. So yeah, I just tried to be perfect everywhere, not rush anything, and just yeah, so happy to be.
Good to see you in here.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well done, Michael. Cheers. There you go. There's your top 3 for the Ratcliffe Butchers 600cc race. And Harry Lennon from Ratcliffe Butchers, the chairman, knife sharpener extraordinaire, is here ready to do the presentation. Just doing a big quick interview for Greenlight TV, Tim. So if you want to tidy up and come down, I'll give you a shout when they're ready.
Okay, Chris. Yeah, Nathan Harrison in 4th position then. In 5th was Dominic Herbertson. In 6th was Michael Sweeney. 7th was Sam West. 8th was Joe Ackroyd. 9th was Rob Hodson. 10th was Richard Charlton. And in 11th position, number 92, Jamie Williams. 12th, good ride from the, well, he's experienced, of course, at the TT, but not round here. A newcomer, 182, Xavier Denis from France. 13th was number 82, Mike Norbury. 14th, number 31, Brad Vickers. 15th, number 47, Stephen Haddo. 16th was number 25, Samuel Mousley. 17th, number 11, Mark Parrott. 18th, number 20, Paul Cassidy. 19th, number 35, Stephen Smith. And in 20th, number 118, Andy Saylor. 21st was number 61, Matt Milcrease. So those are as far down as we go. But yeah, Dean Harrison, 0.4. And both of them, Coward and Harrison, over the 110 figure. The record, of course, for that class, that race, the Ratcliffe Butchers 600. 110.782, so they weren't far off that mark that was set by Dean Harrison back in 2017. The race record, let's have a look at that. No, just outside 2018, it was 16 minutes 25.8. This time, 16 minutes 32.459 seconds. Let's go back to Chris Kinley.
This is the presentation for the Ratcliffe Butchers 600cc race done by Harry Lennon. Thank you, Harry, for that. Again, thanks to all the sponsors here at the Southern 100 Club. Ladies and gentlemen, in third place, number 5, Michael Evans. Well done to Mikey. Second place, number 36, Jamie Coward. And it's 2 out of 2 for number 1, Dean Harrison. So Harry gets himself up onto the little podium that they have here to present the award to Michael Evans. Gets the nice hat, gets the green hat, and then the blue hat goes to second place, and the red hat goes to first place. So well done to the top 3. And then, of course, he will then have the winner's laurel to go over his neck. So there's another one to add to his collection. That's 20, I think you said it is now. That's about right. And now the Foraging Vintners Sparkling Wine. So third place, Mikey Evans. Second place, Jamie Coward. And your race winner, Dean Harrison. There's your top 3 in the Ratcliffe Butcher 600. Tim, back to you to set up for the 650s and the 250s. Well done to everybody.
Yeah, Dean Harrison now on 20 wins. He's just one behind, his great rival currently, Michael Dunlop. Dunlop third on the all-time list at 21. So Harrison looking to go ahead or level and then ahead potentially the way the meeting seems to be going. But I'm sure Michael Dunlop's going to have plenty to say before we finish here towards the end of tomorrow afternoon. Well, we now move to race 3 in the programme. That's pages 36 and 37. Do get the programme, and it's £7 just help with the club putting on not just the Southern 100 races here in July, but the bookends, as we like to call them, for the TT, the pre-TT, the classic bikes, and then the post-TT on the Saturday after Senior Race Day. But we do have the Mike Carouche Plumbing and Heating Engineer 250 and 650cc race. Green plates with white numbers. 1 lap less for this and the following Sidecar race. 6 laps, so it's 25.5 miles. I'll give you the changes to the programme. So the non-starters, first of all. Non-starters at 7. And we wish Paul Jordan a good recovery after had a little bit of an off at Anglesey. A little bit of an off is an understatement. But we wish him well with his recovery. 49, Stephen Beale. Number 68, Stuart Rayner is a non-starter. And number 87, Oliver Dean from Wakefield, also a non-starter. There are additional entries, though, and they are at number 2. And that is Dominic Herbertson, and he's on a 650 Kawasaki. Number 5, Dominic Herbertson is actually on the bike that Paul Jordan would have been on. He's on the RC Express Devitt Racing bike. Number 5, Michael Evans. He's on a 650 Kawasaki. Another additional entry is number 30, Richard Charlton. He's on a 650 Kawasaki Super Twin. And number 85 is the final of our additional entries. That's Lawrence Cummins, and he is on a 650 Suzuki. Pole position is number 36, and that, of course, is Jamie Coward. Middle of the front row will be number 44, Rob Hodson. And then it will be number 2, Dominic Herbertson, completing the front row. Second row is number 65, Michael Sweeney. Number 42, Jonathan Perry. And number 64, Stephen McKnight. Third row is number 5, Michael Evans. Number 182, Xavier Denis. And number 75, and that is Dave Moffat. Fourth row is number 46, and that is Anthony Redmond. Number 30, and number 30 is the additional starter, Richard Charlton, and number 16. And how great it is to see him back on a bike, and he's on the little 250. But it is the man from Sulby, Dan Sale, back racing after that horrible crash that he had. So we welcome, it's great to see Dan Sale back here at Boulogne as his recovery and comeback continues. Fifth row of the grid, we'll give you that, and then we'll get the thoughts of Roy Moore out at Crossfall Ways. So the fifth row is number 89, that's Sean Seddon, the man from Northrop. 67 in the middle will be Gavin Brown, and then it's number 48, and that is Mark Colvin on the Suzuki for the man from Peel. So that, I think, tees things up then for the Mike Carouche Plumbing and Heating Engineering, I think it is. 250, 650cc race, green plates, white numbers, 6 laps ahead. Let's get the thoughts of Roy Moore at Crossfall Ways on a terrific night already of racing. They're not going to hang around. I'm sure we're going to get this race ahead as soon as possible. Once Jamie Coward is ready, I'm sure they'll gather in the dummy holding area, the dummy grid that they form down there before the gates open, and they go out on their sighting lap, and into the sights they will come then of Roy Moore. What a great evening. What an opener this has been for the 2019 meeting.
Certainly has, Tim, and there's other riders as well that are involved in the previous race who'll have to do a little bit of quick changing. And for that, Dominic Herbertson was out in the 600, Michael Evans, I believe Richard Charlton was out as well, and Dave Moffat. So they'll have to get themselves sorted out as those clouds that we were talking about previously move menacingly close, unfortunately. And I think that is the concern, because obviously we've got 2 more races to get in, over 6 laps. This one, Lenny Cruise's young fellas race, Mike Cruise Plumbing and Heating Engineer, 250 and 650 race, and this is where you'll be able to hear the sound of the twins. And in amongst it as well, I think in this particular one, or maybe is some of the Moto 3 bikes. And you mentioned how delightful it is to see Dan Sale back on the grid, and certainly competing well and riding well last night on the 250 Yamaha, I think he's got, and that sounded well. But he brought one of these Moto 3 bikes. It was a bit of a revelation when he brought it down. It was one of the few bikes that I can recall during practice that you could hear starting and then follow him every gear change round the full 4 3/4 miles off the Colas Boulogne circuit. It was just noisy, and there's 1 or 2 of them out there as well. So you've got the 650 twins, you've got the 250 Yamahas with their distinctive sound as well, becoming even more difficult now to keep them going, unfortunately. Although we did see a terrific performance there from Nathan Harrison in the previous race, and at the post-TT, he totally blew apart, and it's not an uncommon occurrence, unfortunately. He was leading the Manx Grand Prix newcomers last year, and the Suzuki blew itself apart on the western side of the circuit somewhere, and then, believe it or not, it went and did it again on the approach to Church Bends at the post-TT on both occasions when he was in a very commanding position. And I think that has prompted them down there to convert to Honda power. But Dan Sale, it'd be a delight to see him. And when we're taking time out to remember, it's the first Southern 100 without Barbara Wood or Dick Cassidy or Boris Kitching. 3 well-known names in local motorcycling that everybody remembers for their contribution to it. And just again, taking time out there to remember them and what they are missing. But certainly they saw many Southern 100s. But it's like everything else, you just surprise yourself. That last race there, delightful to see the battle at the front, and then the previous race with the virtual newcomers all dicing at the front, and 6 and 7 across the road. That is Southern 100. Those black lines are getting prominent, and we haven't had a sidecar race yet. So when the sidecars get with the 3-wheel braking into Crossfall Ways, well, then we do exercise 1 step to the left if it's getting a little bit hectic. But let's get this one out of the way first, the 250-650 race, and then we will be able to get the sidecars and complete day 1 unusual, because normally on a Tuesday night they would have a couple of races and then get into the flow of things during the practice. It was always a little bit confusing, but then I suppose learning from the TT and the Manx Grand Prix that practice is necessary and vital, especially if you're a newcomer. Give them 2 nights of good practice, and they did. First night wasn't so good. The old Tetra radio went down. There was a lovely comment made from one of my, well, not ours, I can't say, I'm not a regular contributor to Manx Radio on the broadcasting side, but I did mention it to one Simon Clark. He said, what's the trouble, sir? I said, the Tetra's gone down. He said, it never goes down when the police are chasing you, does it? So that was one of the Manx comments that came from it, and I thought it was a wonderful response to the problems that they had on the first night. But the conditions weren't good on that particular occasion. But last night we took the trouble to come down, and being on the bike, we took an opportunity to get a few different places. And it was interesting to kind of stand across 4 ways where there's quite a large crowd on the other side at the moment, and not getting, they don't see what I see from where we are here in the garden, but they see the exit from it. And certainly at the not the post-TT, but the pre-TT Classic, there was a couple of incidents there with Bill Swallow falling off, and I think it was Alan Oversby who fell to ground on the exit. But back to Tim Glover on the bypass.
Yes, thanks very much indeed, Roy. And we'll head, I think, straight to some machines further down the road with Chris Kinley.
Right to the front of the Mike Curry's Plumbing and Heating Engineers, 250, 650, 6-lap race. This is 25.5 miles, and on pole position will be number 36, as you rightly said, Jamie Coward on that KTS racing machine. Remember back, that seems an age ago, doesn't it, the Northwest 200, when he was right at the front in that, and I think he opted, well, I think discretion the better part of valor on that one. I'm trying to think back, was that May? So that's what, July, June. That's only 2 and a bit months ago. It seems an age, doesn't it? We are missing a rider off the front row. Or next to us here now will be number 5, Mikey Evans, fresh off that podium he had in the last race. This number 5, the Heat Tech 650 that he's on. He's the only first time he's ridden it was the other day. He's not done many miles on that, and as you quite rightly said, a change to the programme. Paul Jordan not here. Paul recovering from the injuries. He's replaced on the number 7 bike to a number 2 bike with Dominic Herbertson riding this 650 Kawasaki, the RC Express Alphabet Devitt Racing. So across the front row, number 36, then number 44 and number 2. Then we've got number 64. I can see they're sneaking forward. Stephen McKnight from Banbridge. And here's Michael Sweeney. Always has a good laugh, does Michael. And I tell you what, Tim, on that race like that, on that race with Sam West and the 600, when they came past here, they were close coming past you. Fag paper, nah, closer than that when they came past us. Absolutely incredibly close they were. One of the closest I've seen of them coming together. So 65, 42 and 64 we can see here. 75, Dave Moffat, local man, going well up at Derby. Him and Mark Colvin been putting some great shapes up there in the twin class. He's on a Kawasaki this year. Here we go, you can hear them going. 182, Xavier Denis, 46, Anthony Redmond, 89 there, 89, Sean Sennan had a bit of a slip-off at the bridge there at Castletown last night, perfectly okay, because the bike's there now and fixed up. The 2 riders off there last night, and both riders are perfectly okay. And the last man to go is number 85, in addition to your programme, that is, of course, Lawrence Cummins. So 650s and 250s are on the way, Tim, and they're heading round the course. They're heading up to the Ballachagan part now, down the big long straight, Ballachagan Straight, down to Iron Gate, turning right, over the bridge to Ballabeg, then turn right again and heading towards Roymore across 4 ways.
Yes, in the old days, I keep referring to this, but we just like to bore people with what we know and stuff like that about it. It was all 250 and 350 Yamahas, and certainly 600 racing was unheard of, and then that came along. And then, of course, they introduced a class where it was kind of a bit more kind of easier, or allegedly easier, to get a 650 Kawasaki and low-budget racing. But that certainly isn't the case these days, and what you have to spend to get a good one to go pretty quick is, it's well above what you would suggest as being budget racing. But they are there, and there's ordinary ones as well. But when you hear them, the sound of a really good tuned one right at its limit is certainly slightly different than one that's kind of not had too much doing to it. we're just interested to see. They're not posted as non-starters. I think all the two-strokes are out. Bradley Wilson has got a 250 Honda there, the Moto 3, and certainly at Dan Sale on a 250 Suzuki, not 250 Yamaha, but that is the case. But they're here with us now, here across four ways, and that is number 2 who was leading on through. Number 2, that's the Dominic Herbertson taking over that ride, and there's 75 and 46 and 30 and 67 and 48, and they might need lights on towards the end of this particular one as it darkens here, as 31 is the last to go through, not quite the last to go through, Brad Vickers, because 28, there's one of the little motos, and then 28 and then 60, and here is that man that we mentioned before, just going through there, number 54, Bradley Wilson at 43. Distinctive fairing on that. Reminds me Gail Griffiths, Gail Musson as she was on a little 125 who used to compete down here round Colas Balaun. But they're all safely through, and there's nothing to say that this is not going to be a bit of a close run thing as well. Or will Jamie Coward strike his authority on it? But look out for Michael Evans. Certainly he will be up there amongst it. So cross four ways as the car goes through. It indicates that they're probably through stadium and will be shortly on the bridge.
Yes, thanks, Roy, as the paddle boards go up in the air, signalling the, well, what have we got here? Going back to row 10 are the bikes here, so row 9 being signalled, and coming into view, there he is, number 36, our pole sitter, Jamie Coward. Rob Hodgson coming through now to go into the middle of the front row, and there will be number 2, Dominic Herbertson. And I was going to make the comment, Roy's made it earlier out there at Cross Four Ways, it's certainly noticeably darker for the start of this race here at the bypass as well, and we are some 7 to 8 minutes ahead of what is always a very rigorous and military operation run by the Southern 100 Club, so they are making as much time as possible to get on with racing, and I'm sure the three-wheeler boys, the sidecars, hoping they can get out in action ahead of any rain coming in. Due in at 9, we were told by the Met Office a few hours ago before we got underway with racing here. There's the green flag at the back, so we're about to get underway with the Mike Caruso Plumbing and Heating engineer, 250, 650, and Rob Hodgson got a good start there. Let's go down to Chris Kinley, who's in the hold shot.
Oh, a lot of bumping and a lot of boring going on. It's number 44 for number 2 and 36, 44, 2 and 36, your top 3, Tim.
Yeah, I thought 44, he'd got a really good start here off the start line, and already got alongside the pole man, number 36, Jamie Coward, as the officials now make their way in, and the headlights on the course cars very bright as they come down from School Hill Rise and past us here on the start-finish line. The flags here have gone totally limp as well. The Southern 100 flag just opposite us, opposite the commentary box here, just ahead of us there, opposite the grandstand, and the flags of the nations of the competitors here hardly stirring at all, absolutely still, but darker clouds certainly down towards the south of the island and over towards the north as well. So I think the wind direction, well, it just isn't stirring at all here. So we are underway with the Mike Caruso Plumbing and Heating and Engineer, 6 laps ahead, 25.5 miles. They'll be coming through Ballawhetstone and Williams Corner into the view of Roy Moore.
Yeah, and who will it going to be? We haven't got any distinction on fairings on this particular one, but certainly we'll be able to tell you when they crest that rise coming out of Balaun Dip. Somebody's made a break, I can tell you that for nothing. Somebody made a clear break, and who is it? It is number 36, Jamie Coward from Rob Hodgson, and then it's Dominic Herbertson, and then it's number 182, 75, 30, 46. 121, 67, 25, 128, 31, 48, 89 and 66. No use if you haven't got a programme, we'd appreciate that, but we go to my slot timer here, tells you that it was Jamie Coward who was leading from Rob Hodson with Dominic Herbertson third, and then 182 is Xavier Denis, who was holding on to fourth place. From in fourth place, number 42, Jonathan Perry. That's the best we can do on lap number 1, as the last machine to go through is number 65, Michael Sweeney. So well down off the pace on that one. Probably be a retirement, but they'll be on the bridge, Tim.
Yeah, one bike followed by another two together, and into view comes our race leader, and it is number 36. It is Jamie Coward. There's 2 and 44. So Dominic Herbertson is in second ahead of number 44, Rob Hodson. 42, 182, 75, 30, 64 and 5. There's 12, 23. We'll give you the names in a minute. Let's have a listen. Terrific action. So it is 42. Jonathan Perry's in fourth. Fifth is number 182, newcomer Xavier Denis. Sixth, number 75, Dave Moffat. Seventh, number 30, Richard Charlton. Eighth, number 64, Steve McKnight. Ninth, number 5, Michael Evans. And 10th, number 46, Anthony Redmond. But it is Jamie Coward by just under 2 seconds, 1.942 seconds. Dominic Herbertson is the man in second, number 2, and he is only just, less than a tenth of a second ahead of number 44, Rob Hodson. They're virtually together on the road, and then there's a little bit of a gap of some 5 seconds then to number 42, Jonathan Perry, and he's just 0.3 ahead of, in fifth, number 182, Xavier Denis. 65, we're hearing, is a retirement. That's Michael Sweeney. Let's go to Roy across 4 ways.
Yeah, will it be Jamie Coward again, the fastest ever man round the mountain course on a Yamaha? And certainly it looks as though he's built up a bit of a lead here, because we're assuming it's him, but we can't confirm it as yet. So we see 36 on the front, and we tell you the back end goes light there, though. But Dominic Herbertson up into second from Rob Hodson in third. And there's 1-2 making a move here as they come in. Who's next into view? It is number 42, Jonathan Perry, and then the back end shaking on 185. And Dave Moffat watching from a sedate distance as 46 is the last to go through there. 46, Anthony Redmond. But it is still Jamie Coward here across 4 ways from number 2, Dominic Herbertson. In third place, number 44, Rob Hodson. Fourth for number 42. Number 42 there, but that wasn't an addition, I think it was. In fact, Jonathan Perry has quoted 182 there next, and that was Xavier Denis in fifth. And in sixth place, number 75, Dave Moffat. They're on the bridge. Back to you, Tim.
Yeah, and I think Jamie Coward may have made a little bit of a break away here. Yeah, he's got a bigger gap now. 36, Jamie Coward is through. There's 2 and 44 together. 2.758 seconds now, the advantage. 103.235 miles per hour is the lap there from Jamie Coward. 42, Jonathan Perry, safety do. Dave Moffat, number 75, has got ahead of number 182, Xavier Denis. They're in 5th and 6th positions. 7th is number 64, Steve McKnight. 8th, number 5, Michael Evans. 9th, number 30, Richard Charlton. 10th, number 46, Anthony Redmond. But it is Jamie Coward, 103.235 miles per hour. He's 2.7 seconds ahead of number 2, Dominic Herbertson. He, in turn, is just 0.4 ahead of number 44, Rob Hodson. Herbertson at 102.670, Hodson at 102.5458. And they're the only ones over the 100 mile an hour. Fourth, Jonathan Perry. He's 12 seconds back from the lead of Jamie Coward, 99.881. So it's Coward by 2.7 seconds. And, I'm just looking at the record. It's 104.7. So still a bit of a mark-up to go yet. We're going to be approaching halfway through this race shortly. Let's go to Roy at Cross 4 Ways.
I don't know whether my ears are deceiving me or not, but I don't think I've heard a 2-stroke here through the start-finish or at Cross 4 Ways, but we have heard Jamie Coward on 3 previous occasions, and there he is again. And Mark Herbert, number 2 has just moved up there. Dominic Herbertson just blocking off the route of maybe going up the inside of 44, Rob Hodson, but they're pretty close together. And then it's number 42, that's Jonathan Perry, I think, going through. Yes, certainly that is the case, but no change. Jamie Coward still the leader here from Dominic Herbertson. 75 and 5. The 5, I think, just gets ahead of Dave Moffat on the brakes into cross four ways. Number 5, Michael Evans, gets ahead there of Dave Moffat. The battle of the locals into cross four ways, so a change there. 31 and 48 is the last to go through. Number 48 is Mark Colvin. Well, he gets round the corner. TT Week, he was off to Ballasella. Back to the bridge, and Tim Glover.
And looks a bit closer this time. Looks as if two machines were pretty much together then, as two machines do indeed come into view. But it is 2 and 44. So Jamie Coward not here. So the race lead is now with number 2, Dominic Herbertson, and he's 0.287 seconds ahead of number 44, Rob Hodson. Third place man there now is number 42, Jonathan Perry. And Jamie Coward, we understand, off at Church Ben's, but he's up and okay. So Jamie Coward off at Church Ben's, but is up and okay. So that's the reason that we have now got Dominic Herbertson in the lead. So it's number 2, Herbertson, 0.2 ahead of 44, Rob Hodson. Third is number 42, Jonathan Perry, but he is 15.2 seconds down on second place, Hodson. Fourth, and a further 6 seconds back, is number 182. That's the newcomer. Great ride from Xavier Denis. Fifth is number 64, Stephen McKnight. Sixth, number 5, Michael Evans. Seventh, number 75, Dave Moffat. Eighth, number 30, Richard Charlton. Ninth, number 46, Anthony Redmond. 10th, number 121, and that is Jack Fowler. So a new leader, Dominic Herbertson, at half race distance. Let's go to Roy at cross four ways.
He was good on the brakes into cross four ways the last time. He blocked Rob Hodson right out, but looks as though he's just maintaining that lead here into cross four ways, and they would have seen Jamie Coward falling off at Church Ben's, but it is Dominic Herbertson. Just runs a little bit wide. Rob Hodson tucked in behind. It'll be a battle of who's got the best machine on them pair, I'm absolutely certain. Probably waved yellow still there at Church Ben's, just making sure that everything is clear as the third place man now comes into cross four ways, and it is number 42, Jonathan Perry, holding on to that third place. Can we get the fourth through? We can. Fourth, number 185, Xavier Denis, and it is then Mikey Evans, and then Dave Moffat, number 75. So those are your top men through. 30 and 46 are the last to go through. Number 30, that was an additional starter in Richard Charlton, and certainly 1, 2, 3, 4 coming towards us now. 23 tries to go up the inside, it doesn't work. 31, but they're on the bridge.
Yeah, we're looking up the road. Two machines come into view together. It is 2 from 44, but I think Rob Hodson's lining up a move by the look of it. 0.085. That is all we have between our race leader, number 2, Dominic Herbertson, and in second place, number 44, Rob Hodson. So we should see 42 into view next, Jonathan Perry, and indeed that is Jonathan Perry safely in third. What a shame for Jamie Coward, but good to hear that he's okay after that spill at Church Ben's. 182 through, there's 5 and 75 moving up. Michael Evans and Dave Moffat moving up into 5th and 6th, but a great ride from 182, Xavier Denis in 4th, and well, there's still a long way to go. He might well get on the podium if anyone makes a mistake, as Jack Fowler, Adrian Kershaw and Paul Gartland, Brad Vickers and Mark Colvin go past us, but there's nothing in it at the end of 4 of 6 laps. Dominic Herbertson is the leader, number 2 ahead of number 44, Rob Hodson, 0.085 of a second. And it looked like Hodson was just lining up, just checking where he thinks he can take over the lead of this cracking race here. Another cracking race. Let's head out to cross four ways. Roy Moore.
I wonder, will he try another blocking move here across four ways? Number 69, David Jones, came in a bit hot and was heading to Ballasalla as we describe it as, but it looks as though it's still number 2 here as they come towards us. It is Dominic Herbertson, who's just holding off Rob Hodson. But as you say, Tim, it's looking very, very comfortable, you would think, for Rob Hodson. He just seems to do it, Dominic Herbertson, down the centre of the road, so there's no danger of him going up the inside. So he just slays it back, and just the way say that they're backing off going through Church Bends there, out of earshot. I think they are probably still under stationary or yellow flags there. Third place man, number 42, the exhaust spits out there on Jonathan Perry's twin-cylinder Kawasaki's. He comes into cross four ways, and then the back end of Xavier Denis shaking about, and Michael Evans still number 5, holding on from 75, Dave Moffat. So that is all the top men through as they go through, but as they approach the going the 5th lap here across four ways, heading out onto the 6th, it's still Dominic Herbertson. They're on the bridge, Tim.
Two machines again, two machines. Hodgson's drawn alongside. I think we've got an overtake there, but it's Herbertson that still leads. 0.022 was the margin, but it's Herbertson ahead of Rob Hodgson, but he drew aside him as they crossed the line here, and I think Hodgson was putting the move in, but he didn't, I think, get past, is what I'm hearing now further down. Herbertson still leading further down the Castletown bypass, but Hodgson's just sussing out where he can make his move as number 42, Jonathan Perry, goes through. He's 26.2 down on the top two. Hodgson, 2 together here, 75 and 5. Michael Evans and Dave Moffat, the locals, having a great battle. There's in the middle of that, though, in 4th going through is 182 Xavier Denis. 2 more together there. In 7th, 46 Anthony Redmond, and in 8th, number 30 Richard Charlton. There's 12, 23 and 128, and then Mark Colvin's just got ahead of Brad Vickers on the line. But number 2, Dominic Herbertson, as they're on their last lap here, leads. There's nothing in it between them. 44 Rob Hodgson's just trying to suss out where he's going to make the move. Can Herbertson resist it, though? Let's go to cross four ways. Roy Moore.
76.63 and number 54, the last to go through there, so I think they're not going to affect the result. Bradley Wilson, they're virtually together. I feel as though they're virtually together coming in here to cross four ways, but it is number 44, Rob Hodgson, but he was all out of shape. He's got the move on him, though, number 44, Rob Hodgson, but it was a bit of a dodgy manoeuvre. He was out of shape coming into cross four ways, but he's gone round cross four ways ahead of number 2, Dominic Herbertson, but this is not over yet. It took a while to get corrected, but he did get round eventually, but it's a new race leader on the last lap, lap number 6 here across four ways, and it is just Hodgson from Herbertson, and there's the 3rd place man. We just want to miss him out as he goes through. The same, number 42, no difference there, Jonathan Perry. So there's going to be a bit of an excitement on the bridge, Tim.
Yeah, we're just looking up, and there's a couple of the lower order runners coming through, but I think I've seen the leading 2 just cross the bridge. They're virtually together. There's a move. They're coming across the line, but it's Dominic Herbertson that gets the win. But Hodgson was so close to getting ahead of him as they cross the line here. A tremendous finish. But Herbertson wins by 0.020 of a second. And we'll just check on how close that is amongst the close finishers that we've ever had here at the Colas Balaun course. We wait for 42, we'll confirm that, but Chris Kinley, one of those extra special close finishes again, as I think this is 42 across the line. It is. There's your top 3. Chris Kinley.
As the rain starts to spit and fall here at the winners' enclosure, Rob Hodgson and Dominic straight in for a quick chat, gets a big hug from the team. And well, a late drafting after Paul Jordan being injured, but that kind of makes it. And Jim Hodgson goes straight up to him and has a little word of him as your robot man at 2nd place, and Jonathan Perry confirmed in 3rd. And well, Mr. Tree Hugger, how was that?
No, let me get my helmet off first, young, and let's look presentable.
Let's look presentable. That's never going to happen. Well done, Dom.
Yeah, obviously, let me just tell everyone on the radio that Jamie Coward's all right.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's lost the front there, but he rolled over like a kicked over hedgehog, but he's all right. He's a tough lad. But Rob is my hero. He really is. Obviously, he was just there the whole time, and I'm just singing, "Oh my giddy aunt," and it was just a case of he held his lines beautifully, and it was just what a laugh. You know, when it's close racing like that, it's a proper laugh. And well done to Rob. And Jamie, get yourself up for the next race, lad.
You've won a race at the Southern 100 now. You won pre-TT races here, but this is a Southern 100 race win.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. The RC Express team there put a fantastic bike. Adams, yeah, it's like hopping on the Starship Enterprise. I thought the paint was going to come off at first. No, and obviously, you know, the Davies team got me here, and thanks to them. And no, just, it's always good to win, isn't it, Chris? It's always good to win.
Well done, Dom. Well done, Dom.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks very much, Dom. And sorry, and Rob, sorry to jump in there. Well, your teammate on his backside, but what a race you two had. It sounded like fun. It looked like fun.
It was good fun. Yeah, fair play to Dom. He was riding well. I thought, leave it to the last lap and I'll do him here. I just passed him on the start finish and he passed me back. And then we just had a bit of a frantic last lap, and then I got past him again, and then he just pipped me like so. No, fair play to him and his team, and thanks to Kev who's let me ride his Super Twin. It's probably the best on the grid, so yeah, we'll try again tomorrow to go one step better.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Johnny Perry, let's grab with Jonathan if we can. A third place, and well, I know Jamie's obviously all right, but a third place around here is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Been trying for so many years. I can't believe it. Finally got on a podium. I've been on the podium at the post TT a couple of times, but yeah, to get a first international road race podium, I'm over the moon. And yeah, obviously saw Jamie slipped off there, so I hope he's all right. Yeah, that's cool.
Talk us through the rest of the race. No problems?
Yeah, no. To be honest, I had a few issues yesterday with the bike, misfiring in qualifying. And it's funny because every year I come here, it does the same thing. I've changed everything. I can't stop it doing it. So we put a new fuel pump in it just before the race, and yeah, it seems to work because it never missed a beat then.
Well done.
Thanks very much.
Well done, Jonathan. Cheers. Thank you very much for that. So I think we are getting ready to go with the presentation for this. Few spits and spots of rain starting here, so I'm sure the club want to get on with it. So ladies and gentlemen, it is the Mike Carouge Plumbing and Heating, the 650-250. So guys, Mike, if you'd like to get ready to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, in third place, number 42, Jonathan Perry. Well done, Jono. First Sun 100 podium, off you go. Second place, number 44, Rob Hodson. Well done to Rob. Gets the handshake, gets the hat, gets the blue hat, gets on the bike. And the first Sun 100 main event win for number 2, Dominic Herbertson. Let him get the laurel wreath over his neck. Gives a handshake to the two boys, second and third. And then, of course, the Forage Vintners Sparkling Wine has also been presented to them as well. So well done to the top three in the Mike Carouge Plumbing and Heating 650 250s. Jonathan Perry, Rob Hodson, and, of course, your race winner, Dominic Herbertson. Back to you, Tim, to set up the final race of Wednesday evening.
Well, I think you can just pass on this. I think it's the 6th closest finish we've ever had at Boulogne, that race there. It's a fantastic, fantastic race to see. So, yeah, just to confirm, Jonathan Perry then in third. Fourth was a good ride, 182, Xavier Denis. Fifth, number 75, he just nudged ahead of Michael Evans in the local battle. Dave Moffat finished fifth. Sixth was Michael Evans. Seventh, Anthony Redmond. And that's as far down as we go because the organisers are straight on to the Ace Hire Sidecar race, which we'll move to now. They really want to get on with things here. And let's have a look at the grid here. Well, let's give you the non-starters first of all. And this is on page, race 4 it is, page 38 to 39 in your £7 programme that helps for these races to be put on. And take it home as a souvenir or use it, of course, just to follow the races and fill in the leaderboard. So non-starters then are 27... 37, 58, 74, 91, and there is 36 as well, just to slot in there. So 27, 36, 37, 58, 74, and 91. Middle of the front row will be number 77, the reigning sidecar champions, Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes, just nudged over the 100-mile-per-hour barrier last night in practice. But they're going to face some competition because on the second row is number 72, and 72 is Pete Fownes and Jevon Walmsley, and also number 44, Alan Fownes and Jake Lowther. And then on their own on row 3 will be number 2, and that is John Holden and Lee Kane. Fourth row is number 17. That's Lee Crawford and Scott Hardy going really well. The duo there. Number 99 also on that row, and that is Steve and Matty Ramsden. Fifth row will be number 103, Estelle LeBlond and Frank Clays, the France and Belgium combination. Sixth position is number 4, Wayne Lockie and Mark Sayers, along with number 3, Conrad Harrison and Andy Winkle. Seventh row is bike number 8, that's Ryan and Callum Crow. And interestingly, they have gone with Yamaha engine here rather than the Triumph that they had at the TT. Eighth row is number 16. That's Darren Hope and Lenny Bumfrey, the men from Derby and Douglas. And number 42, and that is John Lowther and Robert Child. Ninth row, number 55. Number 55 is newcomers Michael Russell and Tom Bryant. 10th row, number 69, and that is Greg Lambert and Kenny Cole. And number 33, Sean and Ben Chandler. 11th row is number 9, that's Michael Kirkup and Arlo Brown. 12th row is number 23, and number 23 is Richard Hackney and Dave Ryder. So it's Tim Reeves on pole along with his passenger Mark Wilkes. Honda power, or rather Yamaha power, I suspect it is for them here. Reeves and Wilkes, 72. Well, we've got the Founds boys right behind them, and John Holden, who are no new engine in, and they've gone a little bit softer on the settings ahead of this. But just talking amongst the sidecar crews in the paddock, they'd all looked at the apps as well, and they already at that point around about 4 or 5 o'clock were resigned to potentially it was going to be a wet race. So it's not quite wet yet, but certainly the conditions, just a little bit of a damp sheen now on the surface, but it is not outright wet. So of course that, talking to Tim Reeves, they had a you wouldn't believe this, it was from the president, the Southern 100 Club president, Phil Taubman. The president's sponsors lunch down at the Foraging Vintners in Port Erin this lunchtime for charcuterie and fizz, as it was. And I was talking to Tim Reeves down there, and yeah, he was just saying that they just want to get a dry race really for the main championship race, and the weather forecast tomorrow is looking good. But they were even then suspecting, as a travelling marshal just goes through, that it would be. But John Holden, yeah, just softened as we were talking to him in the paddock, the suspension, the brakes, and just giving a little bit more forgiving, particularly at the front. So he wasn't happy. He just felt the bike was a bit stiff and not handling too well last night. But I can tell you he still managed to lap not shoddily at all in the sidecars last night. Just trying to find the time now. He was at 98 or so, I think it was, in 4th position. The two Founds boys were at the 99 mark, and then Tim Reeves was also, he was the one that just nudged over the 100. Well, let's go down to Chris Kinley, and it doesn't look heavy, Chris, but it is starting just to dampen the surface, I would say.
I think we're going to be all right, Tim, to be honest. Just before the end of that race there, just a little skiff of rain just kind of came across, but it has kind of stopped now, so I bet the most will know when rain hits my head more than possibly you, because you've got a bit of hair there that'll kind of cushion the blow, but I've not got any of that. So yeah, we'd be quite lucky on that. Greg Lambert, number 69, rolls into his position. Number 33 just behind him. And we got number 16 also, local team. That is, of course, Darren Hope, Lenny Bumfrey on their DMR Suzuki. And they'll be very, very conscious to get this underway. 55, Mike Russell just ahead of us, and Mike, one of those unique people who's gone from 2 wheels and also, well, to 3 wheels, because he's doing both, kind of like what Maria did at the TT. And well, they are the Crow boys. They are in position now on that number 8 machine. What did they do? Let's have a look. Yeah, the Derby lads, Ryan Crow and Callum Crow, of course, on the Yamaha, because they're not running the Triumph here. 33, also see them too. Sean Chandler and Ben Chandler on their Baker Honda from Harrogate, on the White Rose Racing F2 Sidecar Racing Tomb on the side. A pair of old Ian Bell motorcycle leathers on on the back of the passenger there, number Ben Chandler, that'll be, and number 9, that's Michael Kirkup and Arlo Brown on their LCR from Stanley and also Woodhill Spa, and 23 is pulled up alongside us, Richard Hackney and Dave Ryder on their CES Suzuki from Doncaster and Blackburn. So this is going to be a 6-lap race. This will be 25.5 miles, and the red lights that they're going to have on the back of these outfits are going to really, really shine in the dark. But we've got to watch that grid, Tim, because Johnny Holden, starting from 4th place, starter's going to be key. I spoke to him a little bit earlier on when he went out for that lap. They put a different engine in, and they got a thumbs up from Lee Kane when he came back in, so he was obviously dead happy. And Michael Dunlop, his problems he had on the 600 a bit earlier on, he's at the back of this lot, so he's going to go for a little tootle round on the 600 just to maybe hopefully get rid of those problems. Number 33, big handshake for Sean and Ben Chandler as they about to leave us there now on the black outfit with the rose on the back, and away we go with the outfits out on track. Remember that lap record, 101, isn't it? I think something like that. 100.86 is this race lap record. I think it's 101 is the Sidecar overall lap record. And there's Nicky Crowe, gives Michael Dunlop a very knowing nod as he goes out on that 600. And Michael will be keen to sort those problems out because we're racing again with 600s tomorrow. Let's head out to Roy Moore for the Sidecars. Roy, Cross Four Ways was good. I went to Castletown Corner and watched last night with a load of lads from Ballasalla and Castletown respectively, and they're of course all big fans of the number 99. The Ramsden, Stephen Matthew Ramsden fan club, they'll be there watching out, and it's very, very exciting in these very sharp corners around this 4.25 mile circuit. So if we go to Roy across Four Ways.
Yeah, you mentioned the name of Nick Crowe, and it was Nick Crowe and Dan Sell who came within a whisker of getting the first 100-mile-an-hour lap round the Colas Ballown course. And certainly that goes back quite a few years, and then it must be stressful, I would suggest, when your sons go out, both your sons going out there, and certainly the input from Nick would be priceless, really, as to what to do, but it'll all be incidental. Certainly we were talking, we went to the Cadwell Park Sidecar Revival, and it's attracted world champions down here at Colas Ballown. Steve Webster, not world champion then, but came in 82, Ben and Tom Birchall, and of course Tim Reeves, and passengers, various passengers. But there, I think, are they under the control now? I think there was a change, but certainly they are under the control of a marshal, and it's Tim Reeves who reads them through. Number 72 is the second one to go through. That's Pete Founds, Jevon Wormsley, 17 and 99. Estelle LeBlond, 103, and there's number 4 going through as well. Well, I think the drivers themselves are saying, let's get this out of the way. There's no danger here across Four Ways. There are the Crowe brothers safely through Cross Four Ways, and 16 is here with us now, and 55, Michael Russell, former Manx Grand Prix winner, and a former newcomers Manx Grand Prix winner as well, 23, and now trying it out. We had Maria Costello down here last year, and then there's Michael Dunlop. Well, he tried sidecar racing as well, went to Oliver's Mount with Dan Sale in the chair, but nothing progressed from that, but they were competitive. And that sounds good enough to me going away from Cross Four Ways. So with a bit of urgency due to the dark clouds which are heading our way, this Ace Hire Sidecar race will be shortly underway and finish quickly because they're on the bridge.
Thank you, Roy, and my word, the headlights, you can make them out, and you can barely make my notes out in front of me here now. It's getting so dark in the commentary box. It's really closing in on this July evening at Ballown, but thankfully it still remains dry, and every prospect that we can just squeeze 6 laps in, and then it doesn't matter if it starts raining, because well, we've got a pretty dry day tomorrow. Should be quiet at Castletown Corner now. A cash card has been found at Castletown Corner. It's going to be handed in here, and the name on the card is Ms. Cummins. So if Miss Cummins, your cash card can be collected from the race control here on the Castletown bypass at the conclusion of racing today. So Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes both out of their outfit at the moment, just loosening up and getting ready, just probably looking up at the clouds as well to see, well, come on, let's get this on, let's get dry. Tim Reeves just goes back in, and John Holden just coming up and having a word. I think it was just to get the rear light on, which is compulsory. In fact, it was Lee Kane, John Holden still in the machine, but passenger Lee Kane just coming along, I think, to make sure that the rear light was on. It's a long way back up School Hill for the officials to go to the back of the grid here, but I think we're just about to get ready. The green light, as the green flag has been waved at the back, and engage the gears, and then it's going to be watch the lights, and passengers right over behind their driver, and away we go. Good start from Tim Reeves, and a good start, I think, from Alan Founds. Chris Kinley.
Yeah, it is Tim Reeves with that lead. It's 77 from the 2,000 boys, second and third, and then there's 4 or 5, 6 abreast as they go there, but it is 77 from, well, as close as that, the 2,000 boys, Tim.
Yeah, I think Alan Founds, number 44, got the strongest start here off the line, but of course there's quite a little bit of a margin to make up on Pete Founds and Jevon Walmsley, but it was a strong start from the pole sitter, number 77, Tim Reeves, and Mark Wilkes, the Tenterden pairing, who, well, have had quite a long old day, but an enjoyable day, enjoying talking with sponsors down there, as I was saying in Port Erin earlier at the club lunch, to thank all the varied sponsors that take place. Plenty of new ones this year, but also longer term ones like the Steam Packet, the title sponsors of this Southern 100 meeting, who've been, well, with the Southern 100 almost right from its inception. So, well, Tim Reeves it was with that strong start. Is he going to be in the lead as we head on the back part of the course and into the site of Roy Moore there at, well, Corner Cottage at Cross Four Ways? Roy.
Yes, will he be on main beam or dip beam? That will remain to be seen, but you can certainly hear them, the 4-cylinder machines there, blasting their way through, and somebody has made a break for it. But second, third and fourth, by the look of it, are far from determined. It's not Tim Reeves. Tim Reeves second, third for, dear me, that was as quick as you went through it. Back to Tim.
We've got a red flag here at the start-finish line, I'm afraid to say. A red flag being displayed here. So that's why I think we didn't have too many come through there at Cross Four Ways. So unfortunately, a red flag at the moment. And as soon as we find out any more information, but it is a red flag at the start of this Ace Hire Sidecar race, scheduled over the 6 laps, 25.5 miles. The red plates with the white numbers in this case. Well, we'll try and do a little bit of beavering around here. We don't know at the moment whether there will be a restart here, but until we hear any further, as I just look across out the back, and I think I can see a little bit more heavy cloud coming into view. It is incredibly dark now here on the Castletown bypass, just on the outskirts of Castletown. There's been a good crowd watching here so far. And a lot have stayed as well. The sidecars are very, very entertaining around this Colas Balaun course, but unfortunately a red flag has being displayed here. No crews have actually come back on this opening lap here. So I think what we'll do is just hand it back to Broadcasting House, and as soon as we have any more information, we will bring that to you straight away. So let's head back to Simon Quine at Broadcasting House.